Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to...
Hi,
Oh,
Bob.
we're falling in the sky. Oh, wait, let me use my magic powers to summon a bunch of girls with no pants, and then we can stay up here and float forever. Hi, everybody. It's Umineko time. We are starting... This is book club for part 4, the very first, or episode 4. This is the first part of this chat for this episode. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get right to it. Jan, did you want to recap this, or do you want me to do that?
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so we are starting Alliance here. So we started with Anjay trying and failing to join her family at the airport. Then we see Beato, Bato, and Anjay, or NJ, as they say, being more literal and direct. They have their pre-game banter. We establish Anjay as the very competent new addition. Then we go ahead to, I suppose, the future. Anjay's having a bad time in St. Lucia's. We go back to how Maria first got Sakutaro. Good little guy. There's an action escape sequence where Anjay's getting away from Aunt Kasumi at Sumedera, her agents, with the help from the bodyguard, Amakusa. Battler can speak in blue now. That was fun, wasn't it, Bob?
Yeah. Except for the
Battler
revelation
uses
that
the
I am
blue.
literally him.
Battler uses the blue to say that Kinzo was dead the whole time. Then the motherfucker jump scares us. We go back to Rosa not being great. She, but Maria
Sometimes
does
you just
her
need a
best.
vacation.
Maria does her best to try to find happiness regardless. Then we meet some fucking guy, some professor, Oldski, gives us some backstory on some people that the witch hunt and how they've gathered and they've dug through some shit. And they've speculated over the years about the Ushidamiya tragedy even 10 years later and beyond. And Anjay did 5 girls at the same time. Good for her. She
Impressive.
manifests stakes even at school, to some degree, and gets to return to the game board. And then she gets Elder Scrolls kind of convo locked by Lambda. Doesn't go great for her. That's where we're at now.
Yeah, actually, when you say it like that, Lambda Delta really does, like, stop in the name of the law. Yeah, it's funny because the entire time she's locked down by Lambda, like, she is actually, like, in a, like, pocket dimension or something. Like, time has been frozen.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she's like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. La, 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 la. And then Lambda's like, but we could have a conversation.
She's trying to hit the you're making a mistake option.
Yeah. You're making a mistake. All right. Did we want to go into new reader topics?
Sure. Just go right down the list.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so who's this fucker?
At the top,
Hold on,
I would like to
need
talk about Amakusa.
Yes. Let me go ahead and start talking. I need to download the picture of this fucker.
So,
This guy who is hired by someone who is very trustworthy and who we've definitely never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
but the way that Amakusa acts and is protective of Anjay, he's like Battler, right? And he's got the cross on his chest as well.
Oh, interesting. I didn't
I
notice
even
that.
looked at the skin tones, and they do match. But with the white hair and the cross, I'm thinking, he's Kyrie, right? She could have escaped somehow and gotten to her daughter, and is protecting her under the guise of this weird PMC guy.
I mean, at the very least, they might be related.
Okay, so when you say he's Battler or he's Kirei, you're speaking literally. Because I was very confused by your entry in the Google Doc, because I thought that you were maybe proposing the idea that, I forget his name already.
Amakusa?
Amakusa is a representation of sorts of Battler or Kirei or perhaps someone else, and that this action escape sequence thing we're getting is much like witch battle, some sort of metaphor.
It could be that Amakusa is not either of those, and Anjay is just like looking for Battler in anyone she meets, and
He could be Rudolph.
yeah, could be Rudolph. But thinking of related to Anjay, with him being a kind of older man and looking like Battler in age-wise, he is Kyrie's miscarried son, right?
I can't believe
Sure.
Kirei's son
Say it in
not
blue.
only survived, but went on to work for Blackwater.
I would expect nothing less of Kirie's-san, to be quite honest.
Who found
Yeah,
this
yeah, we love Kirei-san,
abandoned
but that
newborn?
woman.
Also, I'm seeing Zeta Striker in the chat, in the voice chat. Let me know if you want to be unmuted and join the conversation. Just tag me. But yeah.
Yeah, they were actually requesting for that.
Yeah, they were in the
Oh, my
docs,
bad, my
so-
bad. Here, let me go ahead and Hi, Zeta Striker. How you doing? You have been unmuted.
Thank you. I feel free.
Sorry about that. It's a security thing. When people join the chat, I gotta like kind of monitor that. We've had some issues in the past, even though they were fun. It was a funny thing, but like, yeah, and you can't have people just randomly joining, and especially that one time when a literal child joined. It was like, I don't feel comfortable about this. Anyway,
So,
children love Among Us. It turns out. So yeah, Rusty, did you say the last part of this?
So he's like someone else from Rockinjima or Sumadera family. The white hair makes me think of Kasumi, or the fact that he's so protective of Anjay could be maybe one of the servants or one of the other relatives who just happened to survive, and George putting on a disguise to look like a cool guy.
Do you think maybe I think that I think it's interesting to think about this, but also there is a possibility that came into my mind of do you think he's double crossing NJ? Do you think he's like do you think he could be working for the Sumaderas?
No, he's so reliable. Just look at him. He got that shit on.
He could totally be related to one of the Sumadera. Yeah, probably like maybe Kyrie, possibly. I really. What's up, Miss Insanity? Yeah, I agree with the last part. I can see some of these other points being, interesting.
Especially the skin tone matching Battler, like exactly. I know that makeup exists, but
Yeah.
Just ask if he's working for the Sumaderas, why he'd rescue Angie from them during his intro. Because, like, she's pinned. She's, like, going to get taken by the Sumaderas, and he comes in and saves them. So I feel like if he's going to double cross her, that's kind of
Right, but
a weird thing to do.
But how did he save them? How did he save Kyrie? Or, sorry, NJ?
He kind of punched the people tackling her, I'm pretty sure.
And they were surrounded. Like, I think she got away really easily. Like, I think they both got away very, very easily. I don't know. It could
he
be.
did impress on NJ that she should have trusted Okanogi, so it could be something from Okanogi.
Well, I believe that's what was heavily implied, if not overtly stated. That
Yeah, Amakusa mentions that Okanogi hired him.
Yeah. So
I mean, like, he is arguing Okanogi's case to get NJ to trust him more.
Yeah, true.
And so he can betray
And of
her.
course, us as the readers have no reason to mistrust Okanogi.
No, very, very. a man who's definitely on the up and up,
Has never done more crimes in his life.
And
He's my
definitely,
friend in real life.
and definitely doesn't overtly say that I manipulated the situation, even if it was in not for the worst intentions, but definitely displays a kind of manipulative personality, and seems to want to get people into contracts a lot. I don't know about that. Hey, you want to?
Yeah, you know who else wants contracts? The
You gotta
devil.
owe me. You gotta owe me. I gotta put you in debt. You gotta owe me now. Anyway.
By the way, Bob, could you do the gaze solid? I just tossed you over to pick.
Is that
Okay.
supposed to be Amakusa?
It is.
Oh, incredible! In honor of Pride Month. Here you go.
Oh, a secret bullet point that I did not
We'll
put on the
throw
doc.
you a bone.
Amazing.
I am very
Get it?
attracted to this man.
Bone.
Happy Pride, everyone.
Oh my god.
He's not a good voice actor.
I'm constantly surprised by the voice actors in this. Like, they are really, really good. But then again, Japanese voice actors on the whole are just, man, they're like, oh man,
Another level, man.
it's crazy.
They
It's
spent
crazy.
a lot of money on them.
What's up with that corset?
Don't ask questions.
No.
Anyway, Yawn just put
Cumberbund?
a picture of Amakusa in here. It's just a picture of the boy, the child. Do we want to move on to Kinzo?
If
Sure.
that's all we have to. Sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
my point was just look at this fucking guy.
Look at him. Look at him.
Look
Look
how
at him.
stanced up he is.
Yeah, he's got that stance. I like those boots, honestly.
I
That's some
really
Final
want to
Fantasy
adjust.
shit.
I really
Yeah,
want
it
to
is.
adjust. I really want to adjust the proportions of this image. Just make him so much shorter and squat.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
For people who are listening and do not have access to the Google Doc, Yawn just squished him. He hath been squished.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Does this
Okay.
fulfill your fetish requirements?
Yeah, sure. Let's call them that. So, Kinzo, hobbyist or scholar, a word that got used a lot of times in a row during this episode was dilettante. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Dilettante.
Dilettante. Dilettante. All right. Well, at first I thought, oh, this word means like some guy who knows things about stuff. And then I kind of got the sensation that it's just like, is this like a hobbyist sort of thing? And then there was this line where it talks about Kinzo and it's like, Kinzo was definitely a dilettante. At which point I'm like, okay, Kinzo's not a hobbyist. He's a scholar. Right? Of the occult, I mean.
Yeah.
So, obviously when it comes to something like the occult, like the line between hobby and scholarly is blind, because unless you're producing it, looking at it from like a purely academic standpoint, you are going to think, unless of course magic's real in this universe, but assuming magic not real, there is a lot of gray area between being into the occult and being into the occult. Like to the point where you have like academic knowledge of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my question is, does Kinzo know what the fuck he's doing? Does Kinzo actually know anything about like occult procedures? Like could Maria school him with her magic circle knowledge? Or would Kinzo be like, yes, I knew all of this, and be telling the truth?
I would posit the question of Kinzo is wealthy, very wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anyone similarly wealthy who actually knows their shit? I think of Kinzo as Elon Musk, and who is just playing a video game
Anyways.
and has no fucking idea what the fuck he's doing. He's looking at item levels of items and being like, this is dog shit, when it's like the literal best item in the game. Like that, I think no matter what, I think his money got it fucked him up somehow. I think that he probably has like a natural like inclination. Like he's listed in the witch like page as what's his name? Goldsmith, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
So like I think in that way, I think the game is trying to posit him as someone who like knows his shit when it comes to this stuff. But I don't. Yeah, I think it's accurate to like question like if he's actually good at this. I think Beatrice mentioned a couple times though. Go ahead.
Do you think he's read the books that are in his study? You think he's actually read all those books?
Can you really read a book when you are completely fucked up like 24/7 with absinthe?
Maybe they have pictures.
Hold on, let me
Depends
check.
how you look at it. Maybe the absence just helps him walk in.
Motherfucker is a scholar in Goodnight Moon. But yeah, I think it's a good a good avenue of questioning because also Beatrice mentioned that he was like really talented, but like how, you know, like what was the how did Kinzo get like Kinzo quote unquote defeat or trapped Beatrice, right? Because Beatrice said that that Kinzo wasn't good at like something. What was it? It was like summoning or something.
Wasn't it that he was good at summoning but not good at his own magic?
Right.
Yeah,
That's what
he can't do any magic himself, but he can summon like the strongest things to do anything. He just can't do it himself.
Yeah, I think they mentioned something about him being like able to boil the ocean but not heat a cup of tea.
I mean, it was he can summon someone who can boil the ocean, but he can't use his own magic to heat tea, was what the tips said.
That's
Remind you of
another
anybody?
him being an out of touch rich guy. He can get people to do stuff for him.
Yeah, when I looked at it, apparently the double meaning of dilettante in terms of like usually it being used to be like a superficial interest, but like apparently the dated version to be like kind of having that specialized knowledge is the double meaning. So like I did find that interesting, and I did want to double check the Japanese grammar, not grammar, vocabulary on this, just to make sure that like which version was being invoked here. And when I looked at it, it was the one that was saying like person of unusual tastes and with strange hobbies or refined taste, a connoisseur. But I think that there is still that possible double reading involved here. So I think there's a lot to dig through, personally.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Spider Alpha Man, what do you think? Do you think that he's like good, or do you think he's being deceitful?
I think he genuinely thinks he knows what he's doing. He's definitely, it's not an act, it's not a con. And he does, like, you are right, he's very wealthy. I'm not sure he's like billionaire, fuck your brain up forever wealthy. I think the alcohol's doing that to him. But I don't know.
Sounds like someone I know, but wonder, does Kinzo own Twitter now, or?
Lord, no, because see, like Elon Musk hasn't read a fucking book. Is the thing. I think Kinzo has read a book. Elon Musk is.
So you think he's on the up and up? You think that he's got some magical talent?
I think he's got, I think he's got incredible willpower and an obsessive nature. And I think whether or not he has any practical skill with performing magic, he has very much. This is very much the ultimate hyperfixation for him. He has built his life around it, not necessarily practicing magic, but of just studying it, of just reading and absorbing all the information he can. Yep. Whether or not he's able to retain that information and apply it practically, I think, he definitely struggles there, is me being a polite way of saying it.
Okay.
But I think he knows the stuff. I think he has academic knowledge. And if he doesn't actually know anything, if he doesn't actually know what the fuck he's talking about, and he's just like, yes, the witch's roulette, and it's just not a roulette at all. Like it's not even close, Kinzo. Like that's just less interesting to me.
Yeah, I think for me, it would be very interesting if he was just a hobbyist, if he really didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I really like characters who know just enough to like to do damage, know just enough to like fuck around and find out, especially in like a horror game. It's kind of it fits the oeuvre, I guess.
I mean, well, also it's just like, I mean, when this was written, like billionaires weren't actively ruling the world yet through, inflicting their...
Reagan was in the presidency.
Yeah, but billionaires were 100% in control. They've always have been.
That's just how capitalism works.
All right, let me rephrase that. Billionaires were not constantly subjecting us to their own emotional problems the way Elon Musk and certain other billionaires are doing.
Can I maybe rephrase that for you?
Please,
because
I would be really happy if you did.
Because I think I know what you're getting at, but I think it's more about billionaire, like the problems that billionaires have caused, that it's more of public knowledge now. Like it's more because there used to be like sort of a cult of personality when it came to just rich people, and like, oh, they got rich because they're really good at what they do, and if I'm really good at what I do and I make smart decisions and stuff, I can get rich too. But like for people like Musk, it's really helpful because he's out there being a complete fucking idiot who doesn't know anything and keeps fucking everything up, and it's completely shattered the illusion that like billionaires like know what the fuck they're doing and know what's up. Yeah. It's like
so while we're on the subject, I need you to put this fucker's face on the screen so we can see exactly how wise he is. Look at his fucking empty
face. Yes, I thought you said wide, and I was like, damn. But yeah, all right, hold on.
First we squish a guy, now we widen him.
While we're talking about his fucking demented brain, we need to see him.
There he is. Yep.
Oh shit.
So yeah,
it's the wrong picture. It's the wrong one. It's the wrong one.
Is it the wrong one?
Hold on, I messed up.
The golden cat.
Was that a mistake, was it? Oh, I see.
Yeah. Here he is.
Okay.
Also, I just real quick, here's what I have a filter that rounds corners, and look what it does to Kinzo. Balzo. Nerd. Dump his books. Anyway. Yeah,
okay,
this is the fucking guy we're talking about. So
yeah, well, is it though? Is this Kinzo, or is that actually Kinzo, or is that like how Kraus sort of sees him, and is that Kinzo? Like, is that actually, because remember when he does in that scene, he picks Kraus up with a single finger, just throws him. So
that's been lifted.
This is like.
Are you saying that you are a fan of my theory that maybe Kinzo isn't Kinzo, and that the piece that Kinzo represents isn't who he's not a king? He's more of a pawn, or maybe even like I don't know what piece it would be, but like I'm still thinking Nanjo is more than he says he is, but that's just me.
Yeah. Nanjo. Yeah, that does me.
But you're totally right. But
I am operating on the idea that without magic, a human being cannot pick up another human being, like an adult human being, with just a finger. I don't think you could do that. The finger would break.
I have a question about that.
Go for it.
Do you think that Kraus is so trauma-brained from being beaten as a kid that he just believes?
Yes, unquestionably, yes.
I like that one. Yeah. Although what Spider-Man is saying, actually, yeah, I both of those are equally believable to me.
Yeah, no, Kraus.
Maybe it's possible both are the thing that's happening. Maybe it's a combination.
Spoilers
Maybe the
for
truth is
Psycho.
somewhere in the middle.
No,
Here.
spoilers for Psycho. Spoilers for Psycho. Could this just be a Norman Bates situation, and it's just his fucking skeleton in the chair? And Kraus is like, "No, Dad, no."
I mean, we do have Natsuhi, so yeah, I guess Natsuhi would. I don't know. We've got a lot of unreliable narrators going on here, so yeah. I mean, I'm totally. I could see that happening. But yeah, yeah. Do we have anything else to say about that?
I actually did want to ask.
Yeah.
We do have a second Kinzo topic. Do you want to just go right into that?
Sure.
Our good friend Sakutaro. Is our friend Sakutaro here?
What's his catchphrase? I forget.
Go to you.
Okay. Uryu.
Soldier Boy, tell him.
I always forget. Is this one where Sakutaro is written with a different username on Discord, or was this written like in absentia? Does anyone know?
Wait, what? Huh?
My question is
John's
this
asking
one where...
if Sakutaro is here or not.
Oh. Uryu.
Is it one where it's a different username in Discord, or was it written in absentia?
Okay, Sakutaro is not here.
Oh, I see. No, I know what in absentia means. I was just trying to figure out, like, I think I know what you're saying. There is a person who wrote in a topic, and their name is Sakutaro Hojo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let me just take a note of that for later. Okay. All right. Well, do you guys want to get onto that?
Sure.
Sure.
The question here is, it's the blue truth that Battler brings up. Is Kinzo dead before some or all of the games? If so, who would be involved in the cover-up? If not, what is the reason for the weirdness around Kinzo? In either case, does this tell us anything about the greater mysteries? And Sakutaro wants to know, can I get some head pats? Uryu.
Yeah.
Go to you.
I'll head pat you. I got him. Wait, do we have a picture? Do we have a picture of Sakutaro? I'm afraid to Google it.
Little creature.
Should be in your assets folder.
Oh yeah. Little baby. Yeah, it's interesting. So is Kinzo dead before some or all of the games? I mean, I could see it. But is this one of those, like, I would hate for it to be one of those, like, evil twin, like, plot lines, because who is this then? Like, who is this guy? Like, this guy who has met with not only his lifelong butler, but also his doctor and a bunch of the family. And they're saying that, like, I mean, they heavily imply, if not overtly state, that it's Kinzo. So, like, who is this guy?
It's just Battler's great uncle that he's mentioned before.
I think it is highly, highly, highly suspicious that Kinzo, like, isn't going out and talking to the family, because I have a sneaking suspicion that if anyone saw him, they'd be like, "Who the fuck is this guy? This isn't Dad." Like, what? Like,
Easy Corey brings up a good topic, a good point in the Twitch chat. This is Goldsmith.
Yeah, Goldsmith. So, like, man, I don't know. If I were a betting man, I would say, I mean, because what did Kraus say? Like, because they were talking about the family coming over, and they were like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, I have a plan to prevent them from meeting with Dad."
Yeah, that was Kraus and Natsui at a scene at the end of catching up.
How much you want to bet? Sorry, how much you want to bet that plan was to spike the tea. Because remember what they specifically said in episode 4, that they didn't drink the tea. They didn't have time because they were too busy arguing with Kraus. Perfect music for this. So I think they spiked the tea. And that was his plan. But his plan could also be get someone to impersonate Kraus or Kinzo. It's not. Do you think it's possible that he is dead and that Kraus is like Kraus's inner version of himself, much like Ava is Kinzo? It's like instead of a younger version of him, it's like he sees an older version of himself, maybe, and that's Kinzo. I don't know.
I just realized when we get like the flashback of young Eva arguing with Kraus and then Kinzo, do we see Kinzo's sprite in that scene or no?
We don't see any sprites in that scene. It's done with like line art, sketch art, or something, whatever you call it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Depending on the version, yes. There is a CG.
Yeah, maybe
okay.
Toss that in.
I think okay. I'm using the original graphics without CG, so that's right.
Interesting.
I believe if you're talking about episode 3, yeah, it would
Yeah,
be
episode 3.
this.
Okay.
So do we all think that Kinzo's dead?
I'm not positive about that either way, but I do think it's very interesting that all the times you've seen him die, fire has been involved.
Hmm.
And his corpse has been in an incinerator.
Yeah. Which would mean that
Follow Battler.
you would set someone on fire like that to hide potentially their time of death. Or what was done to them. Or both.
Oh, like another fire victim from.
Well, if so, who would be involved in the cover-up? I mean, that would kind of if he's dead before the events of the game, then like wouldn't that heavily implicate Kraus and Natsuhi?
Yeah, probably.
Natsuhi and the one-winged eagle servants, I'd say, would be the most suspicious in that scenario.
Yeah. If not, what
Well,
is
I
the
think
reason
there's
for
a-
weirdness around Kinzo? I don't
There's
know.
a comment in the chat there from, I think it's Easy Corey.
Yeah, what is it? Also, didn't Rosa meet with Kinzo in Ep 2? So that they would.
We never see her meet with Kinzo though.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like Ep 2, wasn't that like the time when they flashed back to when Ava visited at a previous point in time? Yeah, so it wouldn't have been the same day. It would have been much before. So if Kinzo did die and did meet with Ava and Ava didn't say anything, is it possible that something happened from
Rosa was met with?
Oh, Rosa. Oh, was it Rosa?
Yeah.
In episode 2, Rosa got the gun.
Oh, I
from
got
Kinzo's-
Rosa and Ava confused. Wait, Rosa meet with Kinzo in Ep 2.
But like she went up the stairs, and we never actually see her interacting with Kinzo. But she does
Oh,
come back.
right,
with the gun.
yeah.
But also that was the one where Kinzo supposedly lived at the end.
Yeah, true.
So theoretically they could have met, but we never saw it.
I don't know. Yeah, that one's tough. There's a lot of question marks surrounding that one. I don't know. We don't really have enough information because also, yeah, didn't Natsuhi like meet with him? But we all kind of assumed that was like some sort of a figment of Natsuhi's imagination at the end of, or toward the middle of episode 1. Because remember, Natsuhi was told that Kinzo was like, I wish you were a man so that you could take my stupid son's place and I could give everything to you.
one-winged eagle engraved on your heart. Yes,
Yeah.
all the things that Natsuhi wants to hear.
Yeah, which does not jive with the some of the other scenes we've had of Kinzo where he is like,
Yeah, I remember thinking
women.
I remember thinking that was like an out of character. Like, oh, maybe Kinzo has different depths compared to what we've seen of him before that, and then he proceeds to not have any other scenes like that ever.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of unreliable narrator stuff going on here. What's that?
In episode 2, a lot of people also met with Beatrice, and we're still not sure if she was there or not.
Yeah, episode 2 is fascinating because I think there's a version of Beatrice that's real, that is a real person, and I think there's another version that's just like a ghost or a spirit, a witch. But like, yeah, I don't know. We need more info on that one. I think in episode 2, Beatrice is probably a part of the scheme that Ava had to that, and I think that was the person that Ava found to get into a relationship with George, so that she could go to Kinzo and be like, "Hey, look who it is! It's fucking Beatrice!" And Kinzo would be like, "Hold on, I believe I have a recording of his reaction."
Ah, Beatrice! Beatrice!
And then he would die of joy and leave all of his worldly goods to George and Beatrice. But I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, if anyone else have any more want to talk about that stuff, Kinzo, or on the Kinzo topic? Thoughts, questions, concerns?
To be honest, when I was reading for the first time and Battle was like, Kinzo might be dead, I was like, what? And so the whole idea of this line of discussion, I feel like it was very out of left field for me. So the fact that you have been able to kind of take it on board of like, yeah, maybe there's something like this going on, like maybe, has been, very interesting to see from an outside perspective, especially just coming from someone who just had so much resistance to the idea when it came up in the story initially.
I feel like my reaction is similar to yours, where I'm like, what? That can't be true. But also, since the theory's been brought up, it's good to like engage with it, because who knows?
I mean, my earlier theory was that, just like there are no more than 18 people on Rokkenjima means there can be 17 people on Rokkenjima, which means there can be an 18, which means that one of the 18 is dead, and there's a 18/19th person called Beatrice who's doing all this. And yeah, if any of the 18 people we know about were to be secretly dead, yeah, it would probably be Kinzo.
Yeah, and they're using that specifically to get around the red truth from the previous episode. So like, I already have a couple ways to get out of that one. So I'm kind of along for the ride on this one. I'm interested.
I have one. I'm interested in yours.
Oh, mine is just the furniture thing. I seriously think that they are deploying the term furniture for a deliberate reason, and I think this is the reason. But I could be wrong. I said it in blue, so I got to stick with it until it's directly refuted. So at this point, I don't care, because I was right about the blue truth, which is like, I didn't even realize that was a thing. So like, I'll take it. I'll take that W, and then yeah,
it was a big W.
Yeah, kind of funny. I'm still waiting to see if I was right about the entire game when I was playing Higurashi. Like, I said something about Umineko, and I'm here for the ride. We haven't gotten the big reveal, but I have it would be very funny if I was right about it, because I literally, it would mean that I predicted the entire game without having played a single second of it. So anyway, what were you going to say?
0% solve rate.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, are you talking to me or someone else?
I'm talking to you.
Okay. I was going to say that, like, the Battler mentions in that episode where they introduced the Blue Truth that, like, you use that like a shotgun. You don't just rely on one Blue Truth.
Yeah, I have a problem with that line, but we'll get there when we get there. It's like I understand the idea, and it's just like the bow thing, but with the shotgun theory, it's like you need to have more consideration with your theories. You can't just be hip firing willy-nilly. You can't spray and pray that you'll have a good like reasoning behind it, especially when the trick for this is like, okay, you say the blue truth, and then at the end she can counter it with a red truth. And then if you haven't truly considered everything that you just said, you're fucked and you lose.
Well, I think that maybe a good way to think of it is a theory proposed in magic is that there is a cat in a magical state of being, and Badler's shotgun theory is, okay, either this cat is living or this cat is dead. And within that, he makes it so, well, I'm not sure which one is reality, but within all of these possibilities, none of them are magic.
Right, and I get that, and I understand the
Did
logic
you just
behind
come up
that.
with that? My goodness.
My good friend Schrodinger came up with that.
Oh yeah,
He's no friend of mine.
Schrodinger's bunny.
It was originally a polecat.
A polecat? What's that? It's a cat on a pole. I believe we have.
Isn't that another name for a stout?
I think we have footage of Schrodinger's cat, by the way.
Shit, there he is. I was just gonna say really quickly if I could interject here. I do actually have my topic about the blue truth.
Sure, but
Please,
real
go
quick,
ahead.
I want to go back to that just real quick because I'm not
Okay.
saying that what you're saying is incorrect, Rusty Cat. I'm saying that Battler has the ability. What his logic, his reasoning is very thin. It's very surface level. It's like, and he's really kind of like pantsing all of his theories. What he needs to do is truly like think several moves ahead. You know, that's the main there. You can shoot off a shotgun, but if there's no force behind it, it's weak. It doesn't actually get to anything. If
Okay, I got a, would it be perhaps, either this cat is living and therefore the cat ate the mouse in the scenario, or the cat is dead and the mouse is hiding underneath it. With
Right.
The magical explanation being this magical cat disappeared the mouse.
Right. It's more about my thing is more about the thinking behind it. You can't just like, if you fire off those theories, you have to follow them up. You have to think about, okay, it's like the branching path.
Well, yeah, but you have to actually put them out first.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that he
Or
shouldn't
that's
do
the
that. I'm just saying that he shouldn't do that quickly. He should consider everything that he should think in this manner. He should think with the shotgun theory. But when it comes to opening his fucking mouth, he needs
where
to
they come
fucking
out
think
later.
about the words, you know? He needs to think about the way that he needs to do the thing in chess where you think several moves ahead. You can't just be like, oh, what if I move this piece here? That would be interesting. What if I move this piece here? That'd be interesting. It's like, what if I move this piece here and then they move their piece here and then I move my piece here, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's like, you can't just hip fire and then expect, success. You got to think this shit through, my guy.
I don't
What I'm
think
trying
that
to say is
contradicts what it was saying, yeah.
the shotgun thing. It's maybe it
I don't
doesn't,
think
maybe
it
it does
contradicts
not.
anything.
Yeah, no, I feel like
I think it's handshakes. Says you just have to do both. Just make sure that you have a lot of things, a lot of approaches available to you.
Yeah.
I will back Bob up here and say I think that I get the blue truth. I understand that. That's an effective thing. I think the rules of Battler's not allowed to come up with any more blue truths in response to any red truth Beatrice gives at the end. That part seems unfair. Part of the game. It seems bad to me. I think as a game.
And
But this not really being a fair game, I mean, that's not exactly a flaw with the writing. So,
Right. But what I'm trying to say and why I'm saying it is because Battler is throwing out a blue theory now. He's throwing out a blue truth now. why is he doing that instead of holding on to it for more information down the line? He can only be countered by red truths at the end, because as they said in the text, that Beatrice has no, like, there was a whole moment where Beatrice was like, I don't have to answer you. I don't have to give you a red truth. And the entire reason that they're doing what they're doing is because of that conversation. So don't say your blue truth now. Think about it. Think about the logic behind it. Think about the follow-ups that blue truth would cause, and then say it. Don't just fucking throw out blue truths now, because it doesn't help you.
Here's the thing: is that, like, a couple things. Number one, I'll just say this, and then if I could really quickly just like mention the meat of my topic, was that like, it's not like he has a health bar, and every time a blue truth is dismissed by a red truth, he loses life. You know, he can throw out as many as he. Yeah, he can throw out as many as he likes. So him throwing out a blue truth and then getting a red truth back, that's still information for him, right?
No,
like, yes, she doesn't
absolutely
have to respond, but if she does respond, that's still information. So I don't think it's actually a disadvantage for him to throw out like a half-baked theory if he can still gauge it, like, response, right? Like, that's still something that, like, he still gets an idea out of. I agree that,
if
like,
it's a back and forth, but there's a time limit associated with at the end, right?
I mean, there's not really a time limit. No, it's just like
there isn't.
He does it or he.
I thought there was.
There is.
Like,
yeah, I thought they had until like 1 a.m. or like 1 o'clock.
Midnight.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean,
midnight is when the theories are due, and then after that, then it starts a timer.
12:01.
Yeah, so they have to, like, respond, and if they don't respond, they lose.
Bob, I got another image for you.
Uh-oh. Also, I do agree with your sentiment that, like, you as
debate club ass argument between witches and humans.
But yeah, I think we probably spent too much time on this, so I'll go ahead and cede my time. But, like, yeah.
Here's what I was gonna say, is that, like, so the blue truth in the chapter it was introduced in, red truth, blue truth was sort of introduced as a way to prevent stalemate, because so far the red truth had been used to like, Battler was just asking, we'll say it in red, and Beatrice is saying, I'm under no obligation to say it in red. And so the idea is that, like, now there is, like, this blue truth, it can be an actual battle of, like, theory, like, putting forth hypotheses and then countering those hypotheses.
Yeah. Yep.
So my question is, for everyone who hasn't read it yet, reading this, what is your opinion on the blue truth as a method, both within the story and also, like, outside of the story? Like, you know, for, like, within the story, I mean, like, as a narrative element, how do you feel about it? But also as a tool the author, Ryukishi, is using to communicate with the player and reader, how do you feel about it? And then my other thing I wanted to ask was just how do you predict the blue truth will be used over the course of the rest of the episodes?
Someone else want to respond to this, or do you want me to just do it?
Quick context on the image I just had Bob throw up on the screen for anyone looking. That's Bob's quote that we've generated. I think it was Clover who did that. Just so you know, that is Bob inventing the blue truth from first principles. We love you, Bob.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Sometimes it feels like, yeah, I'm being, like, mocked, but sometimes it's like, no, they were all having good fun.
We were all really happy, like, oh my god, that's so cool he did that.
Yeah, I think I saw the screenshot. Do you have the screenshot of the Discord when you guys were, like...
Yeah, I should. Hold on, if I scroll up enough, I'll get back to it.
But yeah, with regard to your I am a huge fan of blue text, not just because it's my idea, copyright me, but also because it really forces the conversation to be pushed forward, and it pushes it creates stakes for theories, while also forcing, like, one of the things that's a problem and has been a problem, and we pointed it out as soon as red text became a thing, was Beatrice has no reason to say the red text. Beatrice has no stakes. Thank you. Beatrice has no real, like, incentive to, like, say that. She doesn't have to, and the blue text forces her to like respond with red text, which then gives us more information. It's really pushing everything forward, I think, and I really enjoy it. How I think it'll come up in the plot later. I mean, it's got to come up at the toward the end of the episodes, because then it becomes a back and forth of like, I need to respond to your blue text. Here's red text. Then we get more information. Counter that with blue text, et cetera, et cetera. And it's really gonna. Unless there's like, you can't, like Spider-Man, I don't remember if that's the thing that's happening here. Like, if, correct me if I'm wrong, and because I maybe I wasn't paying attention, but like, I don't think that there's a limit on the ping pong match that's happening with red text and blue text. I think that they can keep doing it.
My understanding of the rule was that is that at midnight, Battler is allowed to present all his blue texts, and then Beatrice is allowed to, refute as many of them as she can with red text, and then then Battler has 1 minute to give a response, and that I think is insane, because we are in Purgatorio, but if it's a minute to Battler in Purgatorio, then no, that's not enough time to intake that information, reformulate your ideas, look for new information, and that's not enough time. A 1 minute response.
I think that's partially why the shotgun technique is so important. If you're thinking beforehand about a bunch of different ideas, then when the second one gets shot down, then you already have something else you can jump to.
So
in my brain, I'm thinking of it like Metal Gear Revengeance over here, honestly.
Rules of nature, truly.
Late time.
Yeah, I definitely, when I read that, I had interpreted that as being like a minute metaphorically, in the same way that like the Bible will say like, oh, God made the world, made this in one day. God made the world and this thing in one day. That's sort of how I interpreted it. So, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oh, I didn't see it like that at all. I thought it was legitimately like a minute.
I mean, I just feel like that would be kind of ludicrous.
Yeah, and
even if it is a minute, it doesn't
take
that long to make the switch. I mean, I don't actually know. I don't even remember. But if you have the ideas preloaded, it doesn't particularly matter as long as whatever you're saying isn't blocked. So if, for example, my theory was that the cat is, hiding under the box itself, then if they'd said that there's no cat underneath the box, and I'll be like, oh, well, actually, you're standing next to the box. As long as I was thinking that beforehand, I don't need a lot more time to make a big theory. That's kind of why the shotgun works, I think.
See, and that's if there is that time limit, then that means that there's a time limit for rebuttals to your rebuttal as well.
Right.
So it would put her at a disadvantage if you can get something like that out fast enough.
But for me, the what your example was not an example of a shotgun technique. That was an example of firing a sniper bullet and then following that up with logic from the fracture of that bullet as it hits its target. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a through line of
if I was
logic.
Thinking beforehand that the cat could be in multiple locations around the box, then the second the red truth is, given as, again, you're right. It's not the best example. But
maybe we're getting caught up on the metaphor too much.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is I think honestly, sometimes Ryukishi's metaphors are like not.
They're serviceable for a general idea. Yeah.
Yes. Especially with chess. Every time he brings up chess, it's like, well, this does not really extend past what he's talking about in the current moment.
Yeah. But so you,
I was
go ahead.
I actually thought about this just yesterday. You guys know he's a fiend for card games. I was like, what if he's actually thinking about this in terms of fucking Magic the Gathering, and he's just trying to class it up?
It would make more sense, honestly.
That would be better. If this was a game of Yu-Gi-Oh, it would make a lot of sense. It would make so much more sense. Or Pokemon, it's like no. The blue truth. Oh, well, the blue truth is weak to the yellow truth. Anyway,
I'm kind of approaching it like a game of Rumikub. I don't know if anyone's ever played Rumikub.
No.
but it's a game where you kind of make streaks and of numbers or pairs or the three of a kinds. But the sort of you want to plan out on other people's turns what your moves are going to be in advance. You want to think and look ahead and come up with different ideas. And so when something gets changed on someone's move, if someone takes your move, in that case, I'd be kind of blocking with the red truth.
Yeah.
You have alternatives that you can fall back to relatively quickly. But there is times when that 1 minute time limit I imagine is going to be a threat. So.
Yeah.
It is something to keep in mind, and
Yeah.
just another reason why Battler kind of has to change from the one sniper bullet style of panicking and screaming and crying and pulling out his hair when he gets a single thing wrong.
Yeah, I think, but that kind of elucidates my point of like all of his thinking so far has been really surface level. It hasn't really been truly considered in the way that you're talking about, the sniper bullet thing. Like, the way that I view him is like, like literally like a BB gun. It's like, yeah, it hits, but it doesn't penetrate the skin. It doesn't like do any damage. It's just nothing really, because there's no follow up to it. There's no thought there. You don't follow that line of thinking through and really consider all of the. What's that?
Could hurt your eye, maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's very guttural. It's an immediate, visceral reaction that he has to the information. And
He's hip firing
conclusions from it.
He's spraying and praying, and it's like you can't do that. I understand from the perspective of like we need to think, and we need to think a lot, and we need to throw a lot out there. But that only really works if you're thinking about what you're saying and looking and using blue truths specifically to get to facts, get to useful information. But it almost feels like he did it on accident.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like this actually does sort of bring me to like sort of my second question of how like you think it's going to be used, because I'm interested in like, do you think there's going to be consequences to that shallow thinking? The fact that he is, like. That's the sort of, I'm interested in in hearing what people who are still reading for the first time are like thinking might happen as like a consequence of that sort of thing.
I've been talking too much. If someone else wants to take this, I know what I'd say though, so I'll jump on this if no one wants to jump on it.
I kind of feel like Battler's already been feeling the consequences since he's kind of been getting chew-toyed by Beatrice over the first few arcs.
Yeah.
So asking questions about what would happen to him in the future is kind of meaningless, and just in the sense that he's already been taking those consequences. He already kind of gave up and saw that there's no mercy there. He tried to make friends with the witch and found there was no friendship to be found. So his bullets have been bouncing off, and he's been dealing with the consequences of not penetrating.
Yeah. I think that it's going to come to a head in this chapter at the end, because it's turning a casual game of chess between friends into a speed chess game. Like when you like make a move and then you hit the clock. Because that when the blue truth and red truth was like introduced, when the blue truth was introduced, blue truth was introduced. When Bluetooth was introduced, it changed the game for headphones. But like, for the blue truth, it was like, oh, this is turning a casual game of chess between friends into a speed chess. It's the one, you have 1 minute to make your turn, and if that's the case, and I'm not mistaken. And he has to, in a minute, in a human minute, he has to react to the Beatrice's moves. Then he has to really think about what he's saying and why he's saying it, and he needs to phrase things in a very specific way so that he can force red truth's answers, so that he can then follow those up. He can't just willy-nilly just like throw bullshit out there, because at any point Beatrice can take any one of those blue truths and choose at the end of the episode, or at the end, like at midnight, to be like, I'm going to take your weakest move. I'm going to take the one that proves you have the one that I can put enough of a spin on, and I can use a red truth to really just like a perfect example of this was literally the end of episode 3. It was what's that?
I was just gonna say she needs to defeat all of his blue truths, not just one.
She has to defeat all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rule of the blue truth is that it has to be responded to.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yes.
Okay, well then the shotgun theory makes a lot of sense then. Because if because if you just throw like physically, if throughout like the course of a day, you're saying literally every thought that comes to your head, and Beatrice has to respond to literally every single one, does every single one require a red truth or a blue truth rebuttal?
So like all the blue truths need to be rebutted by a red truth. Obviously, like the blue truths would need to be like an actual hypothesis pertaining to the mystery, like an actual like solving of the case and how like it works without magic. But like as long as all of those requirements are met for it to be a blue truth, she has to respond with a red truth.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought she could pick and choose the red truths that she could deploy.
No,
if she has to respond to every single one.
Yeah, she can pick and choose which red truths she deploys against the blue truths, and like she has to be strategic in that in order to not give him more ammo. But she needs to respond to all of his blue truths, or else they're valid, and it means
because
he
then
wins.
you can make a bunch of blue truths based on a single idea,
right?
Like, Kenzo being dead or whatever.
See,
who knows?
And now this is a combination of the two ideas. You need to have a logical line of thinking, a very targeted way of attacking, but it really is like a shotgun. It's not about spraying in a wide arc. It's getting a muzzle on it and like focusing a bunch of shots into a very particular area. I get what it's trying to do now. Okay, all right, I'm on board.
Cool.
I'm on board.
That we understand.
I literally all it took was one like. Yeah, no, she has to respond to every single blue truth with a red truth. Okay, all right, I get it now. Okay. I somehow missed that. So yeah.
I mean, it's completely understandable. There's so much text in the game.
Yeah.
Here's my blue truth. Hi, X3.
Damn.
Please respond.
But if you think about it, that makes
red
sense.
Truth.
Can't use blue.
Hello,
Hold on,
colon
witches
3.
Can't use blue truth.
Oh yeah, witches can't use blood. Wait, can witches use blue truths?
I mean, why would a witch need to use blue truth? Like, I guess is the question. Like, I assume they could, but why would they need to? Because it would be working at the blue truth's purpose is to work against the witch. So I guess anyone who is working against Beatrice could deploy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it makes sense if you think about it that the witch has to respond to all the blue truths, because if you think about it, the blue truth represents an argument against the witch, and that's why Beatrice can't exist. And so, if any of those are still standing, if there's any arguments that a human could have done it, then Beatrice would lose. It wouldn't be a condition where the witch had to exist and had done it.
Right.
Battler would have the ability to argue around it.
But
as you recall, Beato had to stand up and use the red truth to deny witches in episode 3. So the reason I used the blue truth, hi, X3, is because my piece was too incompetent to do it themselves. Ergo, there you go.
Ergo, there you go. But yeah, the idea behind like, I'm my headphones are being weird. The idea behind I still wouldn't spray and pray, with the blue truths, because if it goes the opposite direction where all of the red truths have to be responded with a blue truth, then if you start hip firing and spraying and praying and like you say one off the cuff thing, that could be manipulated in a way where if you aren't really considering it, it can really fuck you up. And like you need to focus your fire. You need to really a bunch of a bunch of blue truths with regard to a very specific spot. It's exactly what Battler needs to do is exactly what was done to him at the end of episode 3, but with blue. He needs to hammer the fuck out of a particular subject.
To quote something that witches have said before, he cannot stop thinking.
He cannot stop thinking, which he has done multiple times. So I'm kind of confused as to the win-lose conditions for this game. Like, at what point do you consider crawling around nude and having a woman put her feet up on you and you are straight up furniture? How is that not a lose condition?
He did lose. It's
I
just that
mean,
Rosa
Right,
was
but-
also
some
confusing
people-
at that point.
But many people, that is a win condition.
Oh well, that's
Right
true.
on,
Yeah,
brother.
Rosa was denying. That was the problem then, and then Rosa had to go to the tea party.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because Rosa
in the
was the one who
credits.
was like, no. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Rosa
that's why she
basically
was in.
covered for him.
That's why she
Yeah.
was in. So that's another question that I have, which is like sometimes this game, like when we rewind in our minds, it's like, oh yeah, this is one single continuity because these are all the same characters just rewinding back to a point in time. But it seems to be implied with stuff like that these are all fragments, that these are all like individual like timelines that continue, and those are worlds that actually exist. Ergo, NJ and the world that she's in. But like, is it possible that there's really just a single timeline and it's NJ's, and all of the stuff that we've had before was just like, maybe one of them was true or like a different interpretation of what happened, but because we don't really know in that timeline what happened on Rokkenjima, is it possible that this really is all one singular timeline? Anyway, let's go ahead and we can treat that. We can treat that
I mean,
as like
that's a great question.
So
Unfortunately, no one's written this topic.
We don't have to talk. Let's get to other people's topics. I'm sorry, I'm taking like up all of the fucking time. We can talk about that later if we want to, but like that it can be a rhetorical, like, or we can just leave that in the air. Let's move on to something else.
My topic will circle around to some of that, so we'll be fine later.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? Jan, you have some. Looks like you have the Japanese words for words on here, or was this in relation to Kinzo? So it looks like it was. Should we move on to Lambda Delta's Gambit?
No, I
Oh
believe
no,
that
that's
should be
Higurashi.
the
Nope,
end.
nope, nope. Can't do that. Can't do that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for the end explicitly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Which topics?
Mel, did you
Hello.
want to get on to yours?
Sure. I don't know how fleshed out this topic is, but I was just thinking like this episode's introducing the idea of like the multiple truths, or like how there isn't just like one truth.
Mhm.
Detective Conan get fucked. I think it's like introduced at first with like Okanoki and Burn Castell
Mhm.
with Anja, and just like, oh yeah, there's like Okanoki's like, yeah, in your mind Eva did it and that's the truth, but in my mind, I think she's cool and chill and she didn't do it, and that's my truth.
Yeah, they did say that Ava was like bawling her eyes out at the funeral.
Yeah,
I
and plus-
appreciate you putting in all the extra effort for Anja's name, as you've said it. You are really putting in the extra accent for her, and you're still saying Eva. Eva?
Me?
Yeah, you said Eva.
Oh, well, don't worry about it.
I know
And
you're talking about.
Don't worry.
I feel like I've made everyone really, really on Anje or NJ's name. But
Yeah, I'm like the
Ava
only
is
one
a
saying
completely
NJ.
different story. I'm sorry.
Well,
So
I've
Eva
said,
and Ange.
have I said Ava because of Evangelion? I think I'm saying Ava.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ava's
You're
correct
saying Ava.
with the VN.
Eva
Okay.
is correct. I just, sometimes when you're saying words, you don't think.
Yeah, it's
Much like
also
Battle.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Mel.
exactly, yeah.
Please continue.
Yes. Yeah, but there's this is introduced, and like Okanogi saying his thing is like kind of how it's introduced, but in a way it's kind of like it almost seems like it's like expanding what the game has been about already, because like most of the game so far has been like Battler and Beatrice on like, is this magic or is this not?
Mhm.
And like episode 3 we get Virgilia given the Schrodinger's cat, and like actually it's not Brawn tubes, it's like the TV gremlins, and that's how like Battler is able to like deny the Two Towers witch battle. They saw, he's like, well, I don't see it right now, so it didn't happen. But we also have like the thing that made me think about this is like when we get like the conversation with like Anja and Maria, and she's like, actually you're sad, and Maria's like, no, I was happy. And then I don't know why, but like that conversation where like they're debating like, was Maria having a happy moment or a sad moment, reminded me of the Beatrice Battler debates, just in a different context. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's interesting, like, and obviously, like, that's a conversation where Andrew's saying, "Oh yeah, there is multiple truths." So I think that like maybe there's a through line here, like we're getting different interpretations of like what the Beatler Beatler.
Yo,
It's gonna sell
Big
you.
bad Beetlerborgs.
Oh God!
I was
what have
literally
done
gonna
to
say
you? I'm so
we
sorry.
need fan art. We need fan art of Battler as a Battlerborg.
I was imagining from, like Wind Waker.
But yeah, I think it's interesting that like this episode, by talking about Anja and like the multiple truths with Okanogi and with Maria, it's like expanding on the idea of like the subjectivity of Battler and Beatrice's point of view in their debates, and like is this going to carry forward with like other characters in their relationality with each other and what their own truths are. Still, I think early to tell, but I think it's maybe a sign of the direction things are going and what we may see in the answer arcs, especially if it's like I know in Japanese they're technically not called the answer arcs, which I think is also an interesting thing about this.
Oh, I didn't know.
Which
that.
maybe, yeah, like
They're not?
I think they're
Hero
called
or
like
scattering.
yeah, like they're called something else. In opposite is like because they were answer arcs in Higurashi. I think the English localization just called them answer arcs for Umineko, even though for
They're
Umineko a different word was chosen in Japanese.
Gotcha.
And so maybe that indicates that like maybe it's not so much answer so much as like something else, whatever the word is. Actually, I don't actually know what Jiro stands for. I think someone did say scattering just now, but
Scattering.
I have a sneaking suspicion that I agree. First off. And also, don't let Jan telling you that you're pronouncing something incorrectly bother you too much. She spent all of Higurashi like beating the shit out of me for pronouncing what was the main character's name? I forget his name. Keiichi
Maibara?
Yeah. Not the entire time, but you were on my ass for the first like like half of that game.
K1.
Yeah, K1. But I think you're totally right, and I think that the Schrodinger's cat a topic keeps coming up, and I'm curious.
In a VN?
Yeah, it's crazy. But the idea being that all of Rokkenjima is the box, and all of the people inside of it are the cats, and so that means we're not going to know what's. I don't think we're going to get answers by the end of this game. I seriously think it's going to be one of those situations where it's like, what do you think? Write in the comments,
Man, that answers arc is gonna be really poorly named.
Well, apparently it's not an answers arc based on what they were saying. So like,
well, it's a write-in answer actually.
Yeah. It's the ending of Umineko is an English test on what did you think happened.
The essay, you gotta turn it in. She'll give you a grade. You get a little certificate printed out.
That would be very fun, though. That would be very fun. I would enjoy that.
You actually have to take the LSATs.
Oh God, that reminds me. When I was first reading Umineko, I actually did like red and blue back and forth with my friend who was further ahead with me.
Oh, that's fun.
Like it was actually helped lead me to some of the solutions on some of the earlier Twilights. I imagine a bit before when I was supposed to.
Oh, that's not so fun.
Privilege of knowing. No, it actually was really good because we did it in a very diegetic way. It felt, like the story, would have done it in a similar way.
Can I just say, I really like Mel your connection between the fight between Battler and Beatrice and Anje and Maria. Like I actually hadn't even noticed that before, but I think that's a really good connection between like the fact that it is this in a way a skeptic arguing against a witch. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it was like it was just like a spur of the moment. Like, wait a minute, I'm getting like similar brain recognition patterns here, even though like the context is obviously very different. But there is like something about the way the arguments are being deployed that made me think, oh, there's a similar echoes, mirrors, etc. things happening here, maybe.
While we're
Absolutely.
on the subject, I also found it very interesting hearing Okonogi make the argument about finding the truth from multiple perspectives, having a more skeptical eye, Anjay in the case of Ava, and the more accepting eye, Okonogi, both of them looking at the problem and trying to find depth out of it. I thought that was a very interesting thing to say, and of course, Anjay's adapting that experience to what she's trying to do with Battler.
I guess that note you just mentioned, when Okonogi said that, I'm like, oh, so maybe if you have a chessboard and spin it around.
I also like that bit about the if you recall the depth perception argument,
Yeah.
where Anjay brought it up, and then we hear Okonogi tell her about it. That was fun.
I think. Go ahead.
Thinking of different eyes for different truth makes me think of somebody with a red eye and somebody with a blue eye and somebody with angel wing and a devil wing, and maybe they can have tattoos and be on deviant art as somebody's OC.
Is that possible?
Deviant art?
Can
No.
happen anywhere.
It's possible. It shouldn't be. It should be illegal. Deviant art. No, I mean, they're deviants. What are we doing? Internet was a mistake. Moving on. I'm going to let that joke just like sit so that no one can laugh. And it's just really fucking awkward. Just make it even more awkward. Just really kind of reminding people that, yeah, that was a really big failure of a joke. And the only thing I can think of to do to like pull the plane up from the fucking plummeting that we're doing is
I mean, it could
there
be
he
worse.
is.
You could have restated the
there
joke
he
and then no one laughed
is!
the second time.
Live
Okay,
footage of Schrodinger's cat. Anyway,
Zeta, you said that we were touching on your topic a little bit here. Did you want to get into that, or is there anything else that we wanted to go into with Mel's topic here? Anything else?
My feeling on the Maria Anjay thing is it doesn't really matter if Maria's able to like create a true happiness for herself, because she's a child being abused, and someone in her life needs to recognize that and get her some fucking help. Because Rose's temper, we've known about that for a long time, and just being neglectful, and who knows, like, was she at vacation, was she at work? But the thing that pisses me off is that Maria tells her mother, like, over the phone, I'll go to a different store each night, I'll say I'm running errands for you, I'll make sure I do this and this, so that, like, because it's a thing they're doing before, and Rosa has told Maria to do these things in order to stop people from like judging her, and that's just textbook abuse. And no matter what that receipt in Rosa's pocket was for, or that stub in Rosa's pocket was for, it doesn't matter compared to the objective truth that Rosa's a terrible mother, and Maria should understand that.
Wait.
Yes.
Like,
I think that's a separate aspect that's being brought up here.
Wait, I just realized.
I think what's being asked is, sorry, yes?
No, go ahead.
I think what's being asked here is, does that make the happiness that she makes not true? When she does find happiness, does that make it not true?
Well, is happiness ever real? You know what I mean? Like, what's real happiness and what's fake happiness?
I guess that's a separate question.
That can apply to all emotions, though, is the thing.
Well, sure. I just think, yes, I do believe that people are able to create happiness for themselves even if their circumstances are objectively shitty. I do
Yeah,
believe it's possible for people
there's
to
just
do
there's
that.
just no winning here. Of course, it's a very difficult situation.
Like it's
kinda comes down
tricky because
to-
like it's like I think in Ansh's view, she's like you need to understand that like whatever love you may feel for your mother, like it is not reciprocated in the way you think it is, and like you need to recognize your abuse. And meanwhile, Maria's like, well, I'm kind of just stuck in this situation, so can I just at least
Yeah.
have this happiness?
Yeah, this is literally
Yeah,
an adult
it-
that's
it's-
taking care of
it's-
me. I have to rely on her, and it's
Yeah.
literally
It's
child
just-
abuse. But anyway,
it's in both of them have been in this awful situation. It's not like Anjay's coming into this like from her own perfect life either. It's not the same, of course. Neither of them have been through the exact same thing, of course. But it's like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? You know? Like,
Well, okay,
Someone
but
tells you
Anjay's
you're
an
supposed to be
adult.
unhappy. That doesn't really help you.
of course. Yeah, it's like you want the child to go like, I need you to understand that your mom is not doing what she needs for you. I need you to understand. But without the proper support, what's going to change? And that's a completely different other topic. And this has already happened in the past. You can't change it necessarily.
Yeah,
This is
that's
So
I
when
wonder
so
if
when do
Ryushiki
they
has written
when
another visual novel about this.
one thing you said, like, it doesn't matter because the truth is that this is a child being abused. I want to say by the point of Anjay and Maria having this argument, it doesn't matter even more because this child is dead. There's nobody can save her from
right.
death.
well,
I think that
oh,
I
yeah.
personally find some justice in like understanding bad things that have happened in the past, but
Yeah.
that doesn't really impact the victims.
the reality, the truth.
I think, I mean, not getting too personal here. I think again, like, Maria's dead. This is Anjay talking to, like, this is Anjay having, mental conversations with, aspects of herself because she herself is so incredibly lonely. But if we look at this at face value and imagine, like, is it okay to tell Maria, this child, is it okay to tell her that this happiness she has isn't what she thinks it is? And to that I say, I do actually think it's important, for kids to know, especially hear from other family members that they, have relationships and trust with. It's not like Angie's just some rando. This is a member of her family. And I think it's important, if a member of a family, like if I saw my aunt, if I was like a 13-year-old and I saw my aunt abusing, my 5-year-old cousin, I would want to tell my 5-year-old cousin, hey, you are being failed. What's happening to you isn't normal, and you shouldn't normalize it, and you shouldn't internalize it as just the way things are.
I think it's also like the context of it is also the specific memory of like her fun night with Sakataro, and like the reason for that fun night is horrible, but she still had a fun night with Sakataro, and like that's still a happy memory.
Yeah, and it's a mental, like, sort of mapping of who NJ thinks Maria is based on what her previous experiences with her from many, many, many years ago when she was a child, and the idea of her that she is getting from this journal, which is not, it's the journal of a child who is really into witchcraft. So it's, one, the coolest journal ever written, and two, very, very specific with how she is presenting the information. To me, when I saw that scene, it wasn't necessarily that, like, and I totally get it from the optic standpoint of, like, this is a person talking to their younger, or, well, I guess they would be older, sibling or relative, that, like, they are being failed. But this is from the perspective of a girl who has been long dead, and who is really not Maria. It's not. it's
Yeah.
NJ's
Well,
vision of Maria. It's really kind of like, I would maybe even liken it to Ava and like young Ava, or like witch Ava, Avatrice, where it's like we've already gotten the sort of the mapping, or the sort of synonym there within the context of the story to like map that, like what happened there to like with. But I totally get it, and I totally understand, and that's one of the reasons why I was really pissed off when Battler and his siblings or his relatives didn't do anything when Rosa was slapping the shit out of Maria. Like that was presented in a way where like that just I get where you're coming from with that, and I sympathize. Okay. And I understand.
I mean, to Battler's credit, he did want to do something, but he was stopped by George.
Well, right. Thinking of perspective, maybe they did do something and Maria just didn't put it in her
it is possible
message in a bottle.
If those events were being influenced, because are we going on the single timeline theory? Because if that was a different timeline, then that would have been a different journal. So that's one of the reasons why this time fucky-wucky bullshit is like, it kind of throws a wrench into a lot of the discussion. So I'm trying not to focus on it, but like, in that way, it's just kind of like, it's hard for me to like
the two messages involved that contradict each other because they're from different episodes.
Yeah.
Speaking of those messages in a bottle, Zeta, want to get your topic in?
Oh.
Yeah, I was about to say that is exactly what my topic is. Speaking of things that we were trying not to focus on, I wanted to look at Angie's present of 1998. And view that it's an interesting story. I love the characters. I love what's going on there. But I wanted to look at that and discuss how it views 1986 and what we can learn from that. Because there's a lot that we pick up over the course of the beginning of this episode. A few topics in particular I'd want to bring up are things like the flashback to episode 1. Episode 1, at the end of the episode, we find out that everything that happened was contained inside a message bottle. And that of the people on the island, the only thing they found was Maria's jaw. And going into this, we find out there were 2 message bottles, both describing different events on the island. We don't know if either one is the one from episode 1, but we do know that this is something that was floating around in the ocean after the event. We also know that, at the very least, the cat box is closed. Ava's never spoken on what's been happening on the island, and for whatever reason, no one has been able to go there and investigate and find out. And we're at a point where we can kind of look at the events of 1986 and try to figure out from 1998 what's going on with them. Did you have any thoughts on those kind of connections that you can draw from the current storyline with Angie?
Anyone want to talk about this?
One, I think it's like interesting that we have these like time loops, kind of, in the one, but also like there's like all of them happen at once theoretically, even when they didn't. Like, cause like, oh, Eva died in these 2 episodes in the bottle, but also she's alive in this timeline, which I guess is also like that also ties into the whole multiple truths things, where it's like, well, there's 2 different versions of the murders. Or 3, etc., etc.
Maybe something that Anjay could find if she knew the truth precisely is she could find out, oh, this person who we assumed was Battler and died didn't actually die, and my brother is actually out there somewhere and I can find him.
Or work at Blackwater.
Yeah.
Do you think that, is it possible that someone would want to frame Battler for what happened? Because that would explain why he would want to evade investigation. He would want to just leave, get away, and get out of Dodge.
Oh yeah, that has to do with like my Amakusa theory. If that is Battler, maybe him and Ava are locked in a, well, I can't acknowledge you and you can't acknowledge me, or else we're going to reveal some truths that get us into a whole lot of trouble.
It's possible, yeah.
Another thing I wanted to bring up in relation to this is the writing that we find from the message bottles. So we find out the message bottles share the same writing, so people are assuming that they're from the same author who is someone on the island. We also find out that Maria's grimoire has that same author writing in it as Beatrice. And we also find out a lot about magic over the course of these parts of the episode. So my next question was going to be, what can we draw about Beatrice from what we've learned from 1998?
Strong connection with Maria, seems to be. Or, this has something to do with my topic that I just added. Rosa's a fucking liar. Might have something to do with Rosa. Rosa may be manufacturing a lot of this stuff. I don't even know if the thing she said about Beatrice falling off the cliff was real now. Like, the reason I'm saying this is because if she lied to her child, I think that she would lie in general. I think she might even be a pathological liar, or using those lies for specific purposes. It is crazy to me that she would lie about like going out to, hang out. And that whole lie, like, what I'm trying to say is that we have a snapshot of her character. We have a specific instance of her lying through her fucking teeth. She is a proven liar. Was that?
She's like a teenager sneaking out and lying to her parents, except for it's to her own kid. That's crazy.
That's
I do think there is like a 10, maybe 15% chance that there actually is going to be some explanation for that ticket stub. That isn't just, oh yeah, no, Rosa went on a vacation to like with a man to, presumably Rosa wants to remarry. I don't know, whatever, or marry whatever Maria's father is. Maybe she was on a vacation with Maria's father. Who fucking knows?
Maybe he's a seagull.
Maybe he's a seagull.
I just remembered the
Maybe
conversation.
Rosa was kidnapped by ninjas for the whole weekend.
NJ
and
was.
It took that
Continue.
long for it took that long for some bad dudes to rescue her. I don't know. So yes, I agree. If the Beatrice falling off the cliff story is definitely in doubt now, because but also I am getting some very things aren't what they seem with that ticket stub with Rosa thing. I think there's something. There's going to be some kind of twist or revelation. An answer, if you would.
I did have the thought that it's known in Japanese culture that a lot of times workers are kind of obligated to go out on company outings and get drunk together. And it had occurred to me that Rosa might be obligated to go to these social events that she may or may not have any real love or care for, but that she has to go to because society / her company expects it of her, and that would be part of the reason for her absences. Now, my belief in that theory was damaged fairly grievously by the idea that she had tickets to this hot spring place rather than just receipts from the local bar or wherever they would go to get drinks. But the idea had come to me on that level.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also worth knowing that it's also her own company that she owns.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, she owns the company. But that's not to say that she would feel pressure to do it. But at the same time, that doesn't explain her reaction, her visceral reaction of slapping Maria when Maria grabbed the ticket. Like, Maria doesn't even know what the fucking ticket is. Like,
I think technically she didn't slap it as such, but more yanked it away in a very violent manner. Which I guess distinct for that difference, but
Did Rosa slap her? I thought she slapped her because but then again, I just heard the slap sound effect that kind of
I
smacked.
think it was.
So.
I don't think in that scene.
Okay.
I think it was just like the forcefulness
of the grabbing the ticket. Okay, so she wasn't like slap. Oh, okay. She wasn't like physically abused.
Well, it was obviously like reasonably
she just snatched it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
the emotional shock of being in trouble for something being as bad as a slap.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, like when you're a small child, if an adult just like very suddenly snatches you with something, that's gonna feel.
Especially if there's also
scary,
a parent who does have a history.
It's literally, it's literally like the flinch like response, like the like So,
but yeah, also I just remember the bit in like episode 3 where like after they find the gold, Ava's like, "Oh, I didn't know you're so cunning," and then Rosa's like, "Well, you know, I had to learn this when I became a mom, and now I having the context of, oh, are you cunning to like lie to your child?"
I got much better at lying after I had a kid.
Interesting.
I love it.
Interesting.
Maybe she's just talking about Santa Claus.
She is like her child's younger sister.
I think it's interesting also bring that up. Like, it's commented on how she, like, as the youngest of the sibling, is still treated like a child by her siblings, and so maybe there's like some self-infantilization, or like she hasn't been able to like grow up in the way that she hoped or wanted to.
I always got the impression that she definitely tries to avoid attention from them at the very least.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to stay under the radar, and at the same time, I think she might be cunning enough to deploy that in her favor. I think that.
Yeah, I think like.
I think
young
coward.
Ava,
go ahead.
Young Ava even suggests this to Ava because Ava's like, "Oh, you know, Rosa's as dumb as everyone," and young Ava's like, "Are you sure she's not just like pretending to be dumb so you don't pick on her or like people don't target her in this family?"
You do recall the last episode.
She's just a little birthday girl, you know. Yeah. It's her birthday. Don't yell at her. She's her birthday. But like, yeah. So backing out into the conversation about the message, I mean, there's it's very possible that maybe even Ava like traced like her Maria, or maybe even used like a page from her diary to like make it seem like, you know, something's going on there with Maria's signature, Maria's autograph. What was it? It was like a signature or something, or her handwriting or something. What exactly did it say in the note, in the message in a bottle?
I think it's basically like the ends credits, more or less, of the two respective episodes, more or less.
And it contained copies of the witch's epitaph and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we know super specifics, but we know that episode 1 was one in a message bottle.
Yeah. So for me, that has, I'll just say it, that kind of has Kinzo written all over it. Like,
yeah, and what we learned most recently was that actually that bottle, I mean, I think we actually learned that more even before then, was that the bottle didn't actually turn up until years afterwards. So like immediately after, it was just, oh my god, Ava did it. And then the stuff with the library came up. And then after that, years after that, the bottle turned up. And then that changed things.
Oh shit. Is there more evidence for the Battler is alive theory? Maybe, okay, I'm throwing a theory out there. Blue text. What if whatever happened on the island wasn't actually, what if it was a confluence of like terrible like happenstances? Is it possible that whatever happened, like Ava actually helped Battler out, and then all of it was being blamed on her, and it was really wearing on her, and Battler fucking hated that, and so he forged the signature. He like put the message in a bottle and threw it out there to take some of the heat off of Ava, to maybe help. I don't know.
You're suggesting that Battler is Beatrice then, basically.
I mean, what happens at the end of episode 1? We don't see Beatrice at all until the end when we go to the basically the afterlife. I forget what it's called. Purgatorio. And then in that situation where I think it's from Battler's perspective, then she's conjured. Then we see her. Most likely formed from the idea of who he thought Beatrice was from the portrait. Because like a lot of this game seems to be Battler mulling over what actually happened on that island. Like what happened that night, who the real culprits were. And if that's happening, then it's kind of implying to me that mind is alive still. And that those people are still alive in his head. Which would make sense for where the I can see the emotional push of the game going, which is that NJ gets her brother back. That she won't be able to get all of her family back, but maybe she could save like one. And that one would be Battler, the one that she really wants to come back anyway. I think it's very possible. I think you're actually really fucking on to something. I think it's very possible that Amakusa potentially, or somebody, it might not even just be him. Because how old is Amakusa?
I don't think we get a clear number.
I don't think we get an age.
We're not told.
I think that
I
think there's a lot there.
If Battler was 18 12 years ago, he would be 30 now.
Yeah. Which I would say, yeah, Amakusa strikes me as like mid-20s, like early 30s maybe. Like late 20s, definitely.
A little bit younger than Battler, like Shannon and Cannon.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Or Maria.
This music came up way too late in this conversation, I swear. This is like, oh fuck, is Amakusa Battler? The music. It's ridiculous. Anyway. Yeah. And that would, yeah. And that would make the single timeline theory work. Like, yeah. And I will also say that, well, actually, no, that's a whole other, that's a tangent. Let's not go on those. But yeah, in terms of like the bottle, I'm positing that as blue theory. That's my blue text. I think that's what's happening. I think it's very possible that someone is running interference for Ava deliberately. It might be Ava. It might be her covering her own ass. Because Ava, I'm pretty sure she sucks. But it would be such an interesting turn of events if Ava was actually like, oh, that would be so fucking sad though. What if Rosa fucked everybody over and Ava got blamed for everything?
Somebody has something to gain from information being revealed.
That too. Yeah. I like this. Okay, is that answer satisfactory? And if not, may I
Ooh, very satisfactory.
There you go.
Boy.
May I interest you in a child, an orb, if you will? He's so fat.
I'm satisfied looking at him.
The cops called him Garfield on steroids. He is, oh, the child. Anyway. But yeah, want to move on to something else? I see we got a bunch of witch topics if we wanted to go to that, or do we have anything else? We went through multiple truths. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we did. So yeah, let's
topics though.
Well, let's go by order. Pieces, furniture, and magic. Kate Broken Bee. Kate, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
So I kind of wanted to, you sort of touched on it last stream, but we've been getting kind of a lot of definitions and explanations for some of these terms that have been coming up frequently. You know, we've seen characters become witches. We've seen characters now become from stuffed animals into furniture. We've seen a character realize that she's a piece. We've seen all this stuff. And I wonder just how it sort of feels towards you and how it sort of is impacting the way that you're viewing what's happening on Rokenjima, that this is all occurring now, that we're getting all this information, all these definitions in episode 4 of the questions arcs. And if it's impacting the way you're thinking. I know you were speculating on some of the characters who call themselves furniture and what that means. I just would love to hear any of those thoughts if those developed at all. That's really it.
Are you asking me specifically?
Yeah, primarily you, Bob. I would love to hear other people's thoughts and opinions on these definitions and these things that have kind of come up. I really just love Sakutaro. I just find the whole explanation of Sakutaro starting off as just this animal that Maria really wanted to have and take care of as a friend, and how he became this, part of Maria in a sense that, is a genuine friend and another entity almost within her. And it's just so wonderful to see that kind of blossom. So I would love to hear people's reactions generally.
Yeah, for me, I've been deep in researching for my next video, and just kind of I've been really focused on a lot of psychological topics, and specifically with regard to trauma. And one of the things that I thought was really fascinating about Maria and NJ and Sakutaro was one of the ways that you get to like some truth about what happened to a person, or what the way that you can really truly connect with something is with someone is to see the world through their eyes, to understand what it's like to be them in their position. And I feel like that's majorly what we were getting from that segment. It wasn't so much that NJ was like she was resisting at the very beginning, but then I feel like she was so empathetic to what was going on, and it's almost like two things are happening at once. One, NJ, it has a very similar background to what's happening with Maria. I feel like she sympathizes majorly with her. And also I think that she understands that that viewing the world through her eyes is going to help her understand where Maria was at, and understanding like her entire perspective includes Sakutaro, and not seeing Sakutaro as a stuffed animal, but as a young boy, a 3-year-old, which there's a very articulate 3-year-old, but like also this is a 3-year-old from the mind of like, how old is Maria? Like 10 or something? 9. So like, I understand it. It all makes sense. So like,
you're right. This might be from this is before the family conference, so she could be younger. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you don't get to a truth about someone's situation by denying their perspective, basically. And I think that whether NJ understands that or doesn't, I think she's going to end up understanding her perspective, because she's either purposefully deploying, I forget what it's called. It's like seeing exactly what she's saying, versus maybe she's just sympathetic to it, to her plight, and just see so much of herself in Maria that she's automatically connecting with her in that way. Either way, it's fascinating, and it's really fucking sad. And especially getting NJ's background and the story with her and Battler. Yeah, I mean, you saw it. You saw me choke up on stream. I'm not gonna deny it.
For sure.
So like,
it's this sort of thing
fucking
that hurts.
Yeah, it's an emotional gut punch.
I think everyone cries
Yeah,
in
I mean,
at some point.
Invoking what Mel was talking about earlier, crazy how much more ground you can cover when you understand where the other person's coming from, huh?
Yeah.
Comparing the two groups that we're looking at here.
Yeah, imagine like having a game like this where you don't even like interface with the other person's perspective. Like they don't even become like they're not even given much screen time. Imagine Umineko without Maria's perspective in it, which is like, or like like it just doesn't like, I wonder if there are any games that were done like that. Anyway, it's fascinating. But yeah, does that help? Does that did I answer your question?
I'd say that elucidates part of it. I just would also like to hear some of the stuff that you mentioned about the furniture characters on the island. You sort of briefly touched on it in the last stream, and how just when you compared furniture, I'm trying to remember exactly how you put it. I can't remember actually, so never mind. if I can't remember the analogy, then it's not even worth going into.
I can
If
maybe
anyone else had any other
elucidate
thoughts, it's fine.
how I feel about furniture right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
There is like a really interesting thing that's happening with like objectification in weirdly enough, not even like entirely negatively. Like it's an interesting thing that's happening with the characters in this game, especially the ones that are referred to as like furniture. It's like there's something fascinating happening with like I still think furniture is literally like it's there. I think there's a difference between like a piece and a furniture, but I think they're all getting at kind of the same thing, which is like they're executing someone else's will essentially. And I think that from the standpoint of like for furniture, I really like the interaction of someone else's furniture with you and the way that it's deployed with the stakes and Mammon in particular. I really want to get more of that like dynamic because like Mammon, it's like Mammon represents a part or like, I don't even know how to explain it, but Mammon, like I could see that greed like rubbing off on NJ. I could see a little bit of her like wanting like, you know, this, you know, battler for herself. I you know, and she deploys some like greed within her speech, but I'm kind of circling the drain. But essentially, like with furniture, I don't know exactly what I said last time. Maybe I'll look and see it to help in the future. But right now,
as well.
Right now, it's just like, yeah, pieces. It's more like a person who's being used for someone else's will, and furniture, it's like their entire life serves another person's will. So, but furniture also, I guess, doesn't have to be people. It can be items and stuff as well. But like, yeah, furniture is such an interesting way of, either way, it's dehumanizing people. It's like removing the humanity. And I'm really interested in when we get more background for Canon and Shannon. I want to know, because they talked a little bit about their upbringing in that house. And I think there was some talk about how it's connected to like Kinzo. Like,
yeah, he's like funding the gospel house or whatever, the Fukuin.
So what the fuck is going on there?
House.
Are they being like indoctrinated or something? Is this like a fucking cult or some shit? Like, what is going on with that?
It's like a work release thing. Like, you know, they fund the orphanage. The orphanage kind of raises people to be servants. They spend time at the Ushumiya family to get experience and then get hired elsewhere. Sort of my understanding of how it's supposed to work.
That's so sad, though.
Hey, sorry, I just had to be called away. Somebody asked me to pay them money to get rid of the spiders in my house. Can you believe that? I want those. Those are my spiders.
They're helpful.
Sorry, continue.
The spiders are so useful for getting rid of like the flying bugs, the ones that are really annoying. If you see a spider in your house, maybe consider not killing.
Like goat hide guys too.
Yeah, those goat head dudes. Yeah, I need to pay someone to get over here and get those guys out of my house. They're constantly around. It's like ridiculous. I wake up and there's just a goat man just hanging out.
Talk about tacky furniture.
But like, yeah. Also, if you see a jumping spider in your house, I mean that's just a bonus. That's just a cap on the day. You know, that's a little buddy. You got a friend now. You better not kill that guy. He's your friend. Anyway. Talk about Sakutaro, and I'm over here. I want Sakutaro, but like he's actually a jumping spider. Anyway,
you just want Joltik or whatever the Pokemon is.
A Jolt. I literally have a Joltik. I got a couple of them. I think they're accurate. They're size accurate too. Joltiks are so teeny tiny. They're adorable. Anyway,
it's interesting to like be able to summon a person from someone who isn't there, and it makes me think of how NJ is summoning Maria, who definitely isn't there, but we see her talking, we see her sprite.
Yeah, that whole thing with NJ like talking to Mammon in her head, was really, for some reason, it's smacked to me of what people do in solitary confinement to not go insane. If that makes any sense. Like, people will talk to themselves and like do practice self-soothing, and when they have been neglected and or like have or do not have any like outside like contact, and it's like it's one of the reasons why that's considered inhumane is like you don't like that's torture. Like we don't torture people. So, and that's in a way happening to NJ. She's being tortured by these kids. Not necessarily specifically or maliciously, and maybe that is even like, I want to see the other kids' perspective. I swear, the way that her fucking roommate talked to her, it didn't. I don't know if I'm just like not good at picking up on like social cues or whatever, but like she didn't sound like a dick. She didn't sound like a piece of shit. She just sounded like she was like trying to talk to NJ, and it makes me think like, is NJ so like she can't like get past, you know, that like, oh, everybody sucks, like sort of mental mapping of her entire school.
I've come to an understanding of like people who were cruel to me in the past by understanding that they were also children, and I think that it's possible that people can be so awkward that they hurt you without meaning to, and you can be so awkward that you perceive harm where
None exists.
You're just doing that to yourself.
Yeah, there was Rachel was just talking to me about someone who at book club got an author into a bunch of hot water because they did a TikTok of them crying because their interaction with this author was so terrible. But then she posted the actual footage of the interaction with the author, and the author was just literally like, she was the person was just filming from her perspective and trying to say, you mean a lot to me, your work means a lot to me, it touched me on a deep level, thank you so much. But in the process, she couldn't really get it out, and so it was like a really awkward like conversation. And during like a little bit of that awkwardness, the author goes, hey, real quick, where do you want me to sign on this? And then because of that, it was like, it blew up into this huge thing of like, she's like crying, saying that this author is like terrible and all this stuff. And like the author is just like, it just reminds me of that whole situation. And yeah, it's really fascinating. Like how people like sort of interpret interactions, especially in social situations. But yeah. Yep. All right. Kinzo status. We already talked about this because this one's from Sakataro. Oryu.
Yeah, I've been color coding them, as you might have noticed.
Yes. It's very.
I guess they're being.
I have my color
inverted.
Yeah, so it's blue, and then yeah, this is funny. Yeah, I have dark mode on for my Google Docs, so all the colors are being inverted, so that's fun. Blue Truth, purpley orange. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we already did.
It's highlighted, man.
Oh, when you highlight it, it's over?
That means we've discussed it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It means that
I guess fuck me. I guess I'm an idiot, and then I should stop streaming because I'm stupid as hell.
I did.
I can tell, Jan. I'm detecting some magic about you. Have you been in contact with any magical girls recently?
There we go.
Finally, Christ. Oh man. We've been at this for 3 hours now, just about. Well, actually, no, not really.
No, not really.
No, I've been waiting here.
Who's incorrect now?
I've been here for 3 hours. You haven't.
Yeah, true. Do you want to talk about magical girls?
Sure. Okay. So, I've been watching anime from the beginning, and what I mean by that is that I've been watching from Astro Boy, yeah? And I'm up to about 1995 now. there are these things called magical girls. It started with so there was Mahotsukai Sally, and I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, and then we've got Cardcaptor Sakura. It comes out in 1998. For some reason, in the 80s, Sakura was named after this anime character from 98. We can read into that if we want. I guess Sakutaro is kind of looks like the little fella, Keroboros Cerberus, however you want to say it. He also kind of resembles this little guy, Pokota, from another anime, Hime-chan no Ribbon, which is also a magical girl anime. Just little lion-looking fellas. Little. You can find little plushies of them. Do you? Oh, Bob, you are vitally missing. You are missing an image on the screen right now.
Oh?
For this section, you must have her. You must have some visual information.
Oh, yes.
This is.
I would have
a
grabbed it
magical
from the
girl.
doc, but I can't. Like, for some reason, it's not letting me.
Google Docs are
Do
really
it.
annoying about that.
Yeah, I don't understand why. All right, here you go.
If we're talking about magical girls. Damn it! Christ!
If we're talking about magical girls,
Look at this.
look at this orb. Look at that. Look at that.
It's
Beautiful.
like Pinky Momo on steroids.
So magical.
Oh my God! Praise her. All right, here. All right, let's get it really up there. Where is she? There she is.
You know, it's a good thing that things aren't funny in threes, or else that would have been very funny.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's Minky Momo.
it's her. She's adorable.
I've
I can
hired-
confirm.
I've hired this Momo to cheer for you.
Yay!
So,
Sambate.
Mag-
Is that how you know? She have a Tomodachi?
Yeah.
Is that a Tomodachi on her necklace?
You're thinking of Tamagotchis. That's from the 90s.
Yeah, Tamagotchi. Yeah.
That doesn't exist yet when this anime comes out.
Fuck me and
That's
the.
her little pendant. That's a different toy.
It's
That's her
the
little
the
that's
Tony
her little
Hawk.
toy that you can buy in stores to pretend to be her.
It's
To do her little magic.
The Tony Hawk meme of the guy pointing a gun at the screen and me during the AI revolution, and I gotta I gotta kill my Tomodachi.
Okay, so basically, it's established. Maria loves toys. She loves her toys.
Yes.
She loves magical girls.
Mhm.
She fucking loves her magical girls.
Mhm.
And what I came to realize at this point is that she really does kind of think of witches as magical girls. And the word invoked here, maho, magic, obviously, is used in magical girls. It is that theme, that idea is used in those magical girl shows as well. And I think that is also interesting because those earlier ones were even more directly invoking witches.
Mm.
So I think it also, culturally speaking, especially in those kids shows, could play to some degree, I think, in kind of working with, I guess, where she's coming from in terms of just in terms of how she's parsing some of it despite it all, how she's able to kind of come to such a there is a certain cultural element to it, I guess, from where she's at in the Showa era, despite the fact that she's coming to it from a very, I guess, Heisei point of view, and I guess a lot of people come to magical girls from a very Heisei centric point of view. I know this all makes a lot of sense to all of you, but basically Showa, Heisei, these are eras kind of determined by, I believe it's the emperor's lifetime.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
reign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like Victorian era, Edwardian era, that sort of thing. So basically, I believe it's up until 89 is Showa, is what we need to know. And then, when did Heisei end? Does anyone
2019.
know off the top of their head? 19?
2019.
Yeah. Yeah, so and then it's Reiwa after that.
Yeah,
Is it?
Reiwa is the recurrent.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, if we're looking at 86, that's in Showa era. There is this I guess it is kind of an interesting place in the way that it develops, culturally speaking, from the 60s to the 80s. And then from the 80s to the 90s, it kind of rapidly shifts. There becomes a lot more toys. The economics of things change. The way that, I guess, kids' place in society changes. There's a lot more urbanization. That's an entirely different. You may remember some of this from Higurashi. People move to the cities more. And then, of course, just within the genre itself, it shifts. People, not people, the characters, the shows. They have to. It becomes very, very different very rapidly after 92. I'll get into that much later. But oof, You may detect a tone in my voice. I will give a seminar on this at a later date.
I'm excited.
But there is...
We need to work together to...
She has an axe to grind.
We got to work on like a PowerPoint or something, like a Canva or something.
Oh! You have no fucking clue.
Hell yeah, dude! Hell yeah! Let's fucking go!
I have a PowerPoint.
Oh man, I love PowerPoint.
Before the Civil War, my man.
Oh fuck! All right, yeah, that's a teaser for the middle of the a book club coming up in like what 2 or 3 segments or something along those lines.
I'm thinking this is after the question arcs have ended.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how long episode 4 is, but yeah, after we've, because we got to do the book club recap for Ep 4, and then the giant. Let's talk about Umineko, like where we're at in the middle of it.
That's when I'll get into this. So, I think it is an interesting encapsulation, I guess, of her mentality here. Like, obviously, it's kind of speaking to, you could say it's very childish, very, very commercialized, even at this point, especially at this point in the mid 80s. Like, my God, it is right to say much of this is just toy commercials. 25-minute toy commercials for much of it.
I think that's like a trend that starts in like the 70s with like live action shows as well, but also
yeah.
Sure.
Right. Which is especially
because like the 70s is when you get the big boom of mecha anime starting as well, which is of course.
Oh my god, all the fucking mech anime. God, that oh my god, there's so much. When I was going through the 70s, it was just fucking mech. My fucking god, it was so much of it. Oh my god. I don't know if the tone of my voice conveys it, but when I was going through, it was just so much. I would watch all of it, and it was so much, and it would just keep going, and it would just keep going, and it would just be all these boys. It was these boys' television shows. And they would tell you all of the names of their attacks in the opening. And I go, okay, that's great. Thank you for telling me what your attacks are going to be. That's great. Now I know. And you all sound the exact goddamn same. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Awesome. Toys. Now I know.
What you're saying about commercialism does remind me of like how Rosa does get back in the good graces of Maria by just buying her more stuff. Other than Sakutaru, that.
Oh yeah, here's some goddamn ceramics, man. That's what a kid needs. Ugh.
I remember being a clumsy 9-year-old. You can't even play with ceramics.
Oh yeah.
Maria's like, yes, a fine Venetian pressed glass.
She'll appreciate this. This is great.
I saw this and I just thought it was so cute. Oh, I got it for you, of course.
And then you look at her favorite things in the whole world, and she's like, look, these plushies. No, yeah. Here's some ceramics. Okay.
Plushie made by her mother is her favorite toy in the whole world. Oh, here's some store-bought shit.
Oh God. I just remembered. Bob.
Yes.
That image I had you throw up at the beginning.
Yeah.
That with the spells, I will toss that at you again. This is actually relevant again.
The spells.
Yeah. As you may remember.
Maria with the katakana.
That was
Oh,
3
yes,
hours
yes,
ago.
yes.
Yes, it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I actually need to get to bed. I have work in the morning. I am
Me too,
sorry.
actually.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Thank
And
you.
just let you guys
Thank
go to the
for-
Higurashi section. So
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
Thank you.
Go to Higurashi.
We're
Go to
Higurashi,
I
yeah.
let time get
Good
away from
night.
me on
This
that
was fun.
fucking mech rant. Thank you for
No,
being
that's
with
all good.
us. So, did you put up the cat again?
Yeah, of course he did.
It's like Maria on steroids.
I don't know why you had to ask, Jan. Obviously, he put up the cat.
Humor is good in 5s.
Thank you.
There you go.
Once it gets up to 7, it's funny again.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying here is, there's a trend in these shows where there's just kind of this, I guess it's like a childish nonsense spell, like pipuruma, pipirima, that kind of thing. You know, it's like fucking sharandra, fucking, oh my god, tekiruma. A lot of it, it literally means nothing. I kind of just refer to them as like the papi pupepo spells. I think they're just sort of even like tongue twisters for kids, essentially, to try to like get them to like have fun saying it along with the show. But like, it's just kind of something fun for them to engage with and to like say along with the show and to hang on to. And that is, I think, the exact type of thing that she, you know, like that she engages with, you know, like the uryu, the even like to some degree, like the even as a verbal tick, I think, you know, like, you know,
Yeah.
I think like those are the magic spells that come up throughout the show. Like they literally mean nothing, but within the show, like these are the magic spells. They become imbued with magic to like.
So like,
and
or
yeah,
or are all magical spells.
Yeah, depending on context.
I mean, they put a
So-
spell on me, make me think she's cute as hell. So
They make you feel love in your heart.
yeah, she cute.
Yeah, so like essentially just like those nonsense noises become magical spells within those shows. Or that just is what those are what the spells are. So they just kind of made me remember what that is. I am so sorry to just kind of get fucking my
Nice.
brain has been mush for the past 3 weeks. My finals are destroying me, man. I am so sorry.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Maria and Magical Girls, please save me, please.
Let's bring us to interesting topics.
Yeah. You going through it, it really makes me like, it makes me think of a couple different things, but one of them is just the power of escapism for Maria and what she's using it to do. And also is getting me to think outside of the box of like, one of the issues Spider-Man was like talking about certain like ways that this like way of like interacting with a kid like might be problematic or an issue. And one of the ways that I was thinking of that could become a problem is if someone falls so deeply into that magical thinking. A perfect example of that would be the Slenderman murders. Like that whole thing happened from you might stretch it to say magical thinking, where this Slender Man has like a magic system associated with him, and so he needs a sacrifice, and so that can lead you down like thinking that that's a real thing can lead you down a very difficult fucked up path. And in that way, it really makes me think like, and I dare I dare say this. I don't want to say this. I really, really, really don't want to say this. But is it at all possible Maria maybe got everybody killed?
Maria Triss.
So desperate to get out of her situation that she would sacrifice her family for a chance at it.
Or not see them as people. See them in a different way. Not that she's... I want to stress this isn't because she wouldn't do this because she's evil. She would do this because she is either desperate or doesn't realize what she's doing because it's covered in a veneer of magic. And she... Like, I can imagine, like, you know, a magical girl thinking that they can fly, and so they jump off of a fucking building and then they get hurt. It's just you know, instead of hurting themselves, they're hurting other people. I really don't think that she would hurt people on purpose. What I'm trying to say is it possible that she accidentally got people killed? Or Rosa and her, like, potentially, like, something happened with them. Or dare I say, okay, follow me on this. I was thinking about the runes and stuff and how Maria absolutely knows those runes and very likely even sketched them in her book. Or I think isn't that a thing? Weren't they in her book?
They were in her. Yeah. She showed them off in the notebook in episode 1 when she was translating them for the rest of the family.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And in that case, so they were in her book. Who knows about her book? Rosa. Would Rosa potentially do all of this shit to maybe pin it on Maria? And then in order to prevent that from being, prevent all of these murders being pinned on Maria, Ava steps in and says, no, that didn't happen. Like, or something along those lines. She takes the flak. She takes the hit. And then Battler comes up later and says, like, no, let's get that fucking bullshit out of here. Here's a thing in the water to, like, kind of muddy the waters. Here's the message in a bottle. I am talking out of my butthole. I don't know. Like, it's gotten your hyperfixation on magical girls, Jan, has gotten me to think, like, out of the box. It's gotten me to think out of what my because there is a special place in my brain, or there was, that wanted to protect Maria at all costs. And don't worry, I will. Even if she killed everybody, she's justified in doing so. But there was a part of me that was preventing me from even thinking that was a thing. And now because of this,
real.
So like when Battler got to have the red text of there being 18 people, so you had to suspect his family.
Yeah, I was saying that the entire time when that was going on. It's like, but it was pointed in a different direction. It was pointed in the direction of what the fuck happened to Battler's parents. Like what, or mom, what happened to Battler's mom, his biological mom. Like what that made, like, he's so, like, locked down and, like, oh no, nothing, like, my family wouldn't have done that. And almost like a delusion. Like, there's a part of him that absolutely thinks that his father had something to do with it. No wonder they were fighting, you know, they were having a back and forth. And sorry, I just saw chat and Battle Royale. I've seen Battle Royale. I haven't read it though. So yeah, like, in that way, he was protecting himself. I could see him protecting himself, or some part of himself protecting himself from even thinking, even having the possibility in his head that anyone in his family had anything to do with his mom's disappearance. But now it could be applied. It could be mapped from that over to Maria, and, like, this idea that there was any possibility that she had anything to do with this. And now it's like, because I feel like the narrative at the very beginning was very, 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 very much like, Maria's creepy. Look at all this creepy shit she's doing. She's talking in a completely different voice.
She just had that moment in episode 3 where she's, like, having a tantrum and then goes, "Let's go to the rose garden, Mom."
Yeah. And like getting her out there. Like, and I don't know if she's doing it on purpose or what, but like, if you're a person who thinks that there is an afterlife and people like don't necessarily die, then like, yeah, it's very possible. I keep coming back to this idea that like Rosa is like, she makes clothes. She like does all this stuff with clothes. And they keep talking about that. And I'm like, man, that's being brought up for a reason. Like it's some Chekhov's gun shit, you know? It's like, is it possible that she's like making like costumes or like for Maria? Like, I don't know. Either way, the runes were in her fucking, in her journal. They were in her journal. And like, I don't know if she would be tall enough to actually like get all the drawings and stuff done. I don't know if that would be a possibility for her. Because the runes were drawn on all of the doors and stuff. And it's like, if she's just not tall enough to reach that, then like, does that mean Rosa had seen these runes and was doing it herself or with help? Maybe they were doing it together. I don't know.
I want to build off of that theory and say, in this theory, Rosa killed people, but she needs people to believe that there's a witch so that they don't suspect her. So she gets Maria saying, okay, dress this up in whatever witch bullshit you got so that people don't suspect me. I'm going to hold you up so that you can reach these tall spaces.
And then she was using Beatrice, or the idea of Beatrice during that family meeting as like, you know, the basis for everybody's suspicions of this the Beatrice person. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm highly doubtful that any of what Rosa says is real. But then again, there is a possibility where you can take all of these. I wonder, could we take every event from every episode and layer them on top of each other where it makes sense?
I mean, the murders directly contradict each other.
Do they? Is there a way where a
like
murder
aspects.
can like be, what's that?
Maybe aspects, like maybe the murder, the first 6 murders from episode 1 are all real, and then some of the stake murders from episode 2 are real, and some elements from episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the order of the killings and the method of the killings is very vastly different between the different episodes. So you would need to like really dig into that if you wanted to go that direction. I'm not sure.
Could it also be a situation where you can maybe take certain parts of those episodes for as quote unquote real, and then other parts not because of unreliable narrator / perspectives? I don't think, at the very least, you know, the Schrodinger's cat thing of like, we don't know what happened on Rokkenjima during those days. So maybe a lot of the stuff leading up was legit, and then what happened during is like someone thinking about possibly what happened. I don't know. I'm kind of talking out my butthole now. But yeah, I don't know. It regardless, suffice it to say, Jan, I think, yeah, I also, Minky Momo is just like fucking sick. Like the animation of this show is like awesome. It's like wild how good it is. Looking at that, like Minky Momo up here, invincible? No, down here. No. Minky Momo's
Also,
got some
remember
good
when-
fucking keyframes, man.
Also, remember when everyone reunited after they came back from war? Remember that? That was incredible.
Yeah.
The fireworks, but it also symbolizes the way that these things are used in war. Amazing. In the military parade, that was so bittersweet.
Yeah. And then
It was incredible.
Minky Momo like looking around on the bridge when all the spirits are there and just like, you know.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Yeah, it's
Momo.
Momo's crazy. That's awesome.
Love
it's
Minky
really,
Momo.
really good.
Thinking of everybody having a good time at the end makes me think back to Maria in her bad mental state of we can only get to a place where me and my mother are happy if we are both dead. And that innate, like, suicidal, homicidal, like, impulse, whether it is expressed or even, like, acknowledged in any way.
Now, would you believe me if I told you that that movie was only possible through a series of impossible things?
That would make a lot of sense.
You may have noticed that she didn't transform a single time in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was she... Oh. Are you deliberately showing me Miki Momo to give me ideas about it, Umineko?
I would never do that.
I'm sure Umineko has nothing to do with any other media.
Maria's real, right?
What a question.
Well, thinking of other media, before the night gets too late, we could have Higurashi spoiler time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot. I thought we were winding down and like almost done. But yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
The impossible is possible. This is what Momo taught us. Let's do this.
It's true.
So,
all right.
Before we close the door on Higurashi spoilers, I think we can at least do a non-Higurashi spoiler on the topic. But
Let's achieve our dreams.
But we will at least need to have a spoiler zone because we need to get into spoiler things.
Hold on, real quick. I can't help Jan. This is highlighted.
Yes, that I marked this to come back to it.
What color
is a different color
in your dark mode?
Okay, it's like a pinkish red.
It's pink to
me.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it as like pinkish, so that I would know that it's not complete.
All right, I was trying to make light of if it's marked, then we have already talked about it. But don't worry about it; it's fine. I'm just being a little sassy Gus. Yep. All right, in 5 seconds, when I count to 5, we are going to talk about Higurashi spoilers. We are going to talk about Higurashi. These are major spoilers for Higurashi. Please do not stick around if you have not finished Higurashi. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right.
I can't believe Keiichi was a Republican.
That's crazy.
You think those freaks are gone yet?
Kids.
Remember when they killed Trump in Higurashi? That was crazy. They dropped a nuke on him.
Truly the power of friendship and finding the right fragment.
When did Okanogi get those earrings?
It's the 90s, man.
God, yeah. Can we just real quick, not even just as a topic, I just want to say Okanogi's back. He's here.
Yep.
Yeah, baby.
Hi, Okanogi.
He's
How you
chill.
doing? Yeah, he seems more chill than he was.
I brought this up to my friend, and she was like, "To be honest, if I was like, if I was like the war crimes guy, but they got beaten by a bunch of kids in a Home Alone situation, I'd probably hang up my uniform and just get into business with them."
Just go north, get a real job. Not a good job, but a real one.
I was going to say, real job's doing a lot of lifting on this.
Yeah, fair. Businessman is.
Y'all good? Y'all good, Bob?
No, my monitor turned off. You guys keep talking. Okay. I think the stream is still going. But I got to figure out what's going on with my monitor.
It looks like it's going, but the music did cut off.
Yeah.
The music hasn't finished Higurashi yet.
But the point for my the focus of my topic is going on Lambda Delta's Gambit, the bit at the end in the time stop where she confronts Anjay and says, "Hey, what do you think you're going to win in all this? Even if you beat Beatrice, what you get is going to be a timeline. If Berncastle can find you a happy fragment, it's not you that's going to experience it." So using that as a using that as a leverage to try to force Amjay to go in with Lambda Delta's maintain the game forever scheme. And the reason I wanted to kind of highlight this in the spoiler section is because that's not really how Burncastle in particular experiences timelines. Burncastle experiences fragments sequentially. She lives a fragment, she lives a fragment, she lives a fragment, she lives a fragment. So, for as much as Lambda wants Anjay to believe that there's no hope, is it really hopeless? Because it's possible that Burncastle, with the experience she's gained from the events of Higurashi, could theoretically inject the happy fragment into Anjay's next life, quote unquote. This is, of course, all in the magical interpretation of things, but that's the level on which the gambit's happening.
Sorry, I came in at the end of that. I think I get what you're getting at, though. Yeah, I honestly, the way that works and all the fragments and stuff, that would be cool. That would be a great little. Yeah, the way that she rewinds time and then like locks it, basically to just like. Yeah, it's always tough when it comes to time travel shit, but like the way that it's presented, it really feels like she is assembling the future that she wants. And I think you're right to assume that maybe she could take a shard for this reality and like put it into place in its correct place. What's the witch? What is her witch style? What's her? She's
miracles.
Yeah, miracles.
Miracles. Okay. And then
Miracles
Lambda
and
Delta's
certainty.
certainty.
Lambda Delta certainty.
Beatrice is endless.
Endless.
Endless and golden, yes.
So endless and golden. So really
And
endless.
Maria's origin.
Oh, endless. Beatrice, because you can speculate about it endlessly. She is the fucking. She's the Schrodinger's cat. That's her.
That rock, paper, scissors dynamic they have. Lambda can defeat Burncastle by.
Is it Burncastle or Burncastel?
I've always said Burncastel.
Burncastle by getting her stuck in a loop.
Gotcha.
The English phonetics don't really matter here.
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter. It's either one.
Yeah, okay.
I always just say Bedin, you know.
Yeah. Baron Castel. Baron Castel. But so like okay, so she's but that's weird because it's like if she's the endless witch and it's kind of implying that she is like, you know, you can her kind of fragment can be speculated about endlessly. Like her being trapped forever in endless like speculation.
Yeah, it's
wait.
necessarily that she's getting out of this list of potential Uminekos. It's that she keeps searching forever, and Lambda Delta hides the perfect fragment somewhere that Burncastel looks over, so that she has to look at all the rest of them before she gets out.
Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking of Lambda Delta's strategy of like, if you know it's bad. Okay, so Burncastel. I'm sorry. What witch is Burncastel? The witch of miracles. So the miracle of getting out of the endless loop, maybe, and then the witch of certainty, and that certainly endless. Maybe I don't know. I'm fucking around with the way that the witches are being presented, but like. I'm just thinking of like what I think it was Lambda Delta who was saying like, oh yeah, we can lock Burncastel in like an endless loop, and I'm using Beatrice because Beatrice is Beatrice doomed to like be in this loop forever? where she.
That's certainly
Well, it's
Lambda's
really more
plan.
about. It's really more about keeping Ban in there. 'cause
Right, and that's
what she's after. Yeah.
yeah.
She wants her eyeballs.
She wants Byrne
She
trapped
wants
in
her-
there because
She
Beatrice
wants
is
her
trapped in there.
eyeballs, Bob. She wants them in her mouth.
It's true. It's true.
Let her have them.
I mean, she's allowed them. you
It's
know.
Pride Month, Bob.
If red eyes are demon eyes and blue eyes are witch eyes, then Bernkastel having purple eyes, I don't think that that's really important.
I thought it was interesting that Lambda Delta's eyes are like half like orange, which is, or they're kind of brownish. But if you remember, like, I think it was orange that are like furniture. And so it's like, what that's interesting.
I don't think that we've seen orange in anybody else's eyes.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like they're a shade of the color that the furniture
The
is.
red demon eyes?
Yeah. They're like kind of a half step. But yeah, maybe I'm looking too much into eye color. But then again, Yawn fucked me up with that with her game. So it got me looking at all these different character portraits with an eyebrow raised.
Listen,
Anyway.
some characters have teeth.
It's true. It's wild.
By the way,
Amakusa has
since-
skin.
Wouldn't be me.
Speaking of him, this is not the first time we've seen him, technically. Actually, it is the first time we've seen him, not the first time we've heard him.
Heard who?
Fun fact. Amakusa. Did you know that?
No.
You mean the voice actor?
No, I mean, last time, he got his ass kicked by some little kids.
With Okanogi.
Oh.
Yeah, bro thought he was Skullgo 13.
Did he get like a barrel dropped on him or something?
Yeah.
The kids walked up to him and tried to pull the mask off.
This
of
is
his
more
face,
of an abstract connection, though.
and he started screaming about Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
It's not as direct of an actual like canon connection though.
Yeah.
It's more of a it's more debatable. It's like, is that actually him or is it not?
Mhm.
I think
So it's actually
Little bit of fan
more like
service.
I think they saw that
it
like
might actually be like
there was like a
that's
retroactive.
one of those things where like yeah, it's actually one of those things where it's like that might not actually be him, or it's like an alternative reading of the same of a character where the name could be read the same way with the characters, I believe, with Hibari
Yeah, I think-
13. It could be read as Juza, I believe. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I think I said like I saw like Juza's a reading that has the kanji for 13 in it. So
No,
I believe that's it.
that's funny.
so
All
then I
right.
guess for the console ports they got his voice actor.
Alrighty. Did we want to talk about anything else, or did we want to go ahead and call it for tonight? All right.
Guess that's it.
Guess that's
I'm
it.
good for calling it for tonight. I am taking the trash out while I have you muted.
Okay. Let's go ahead and call it for tonight. Thank you, everybody who talked during the stream, and thank you to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, I always have fun on these. I like Umineko. Umineko's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy talking about it. Yeah.
I'm
Kinda
sorry
good.
you said finish, but just one more connection to
Sure.
Higurashi. I do see with Sakutaro Hojo's name that Sakutaro does have blonde hair like
Yeah.
Satoshi and Satoko.
Yeah.
But that's all the connection that I have.
These are the only 3 people that have blonde hair.
And Takano.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as
The fourth,
Lambda said,
my
no,
God.
Our
blondes are no.
queen.
And
Oh,
Kraus.
3 or 4. Huh.
Yeah, yawn. It's Pride Month, god damn it. And you forgot Takano? I can't believe this. I can't believe this.
Did I?
Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Lions as well. Yeah. What's that?
How would you know? I'm always thinking about her.
It's true. Who put? Okay, Jan, why did you put a hammer above? It's a squashed. Oh, you did. Okay. Oh, this is a All right, I feel like I need to show this now.
Talk.
Here, I'm gonna show
Oh.
this. I'm gonna show this on the stream. Here. Let's switch to studio mode. Here, I'll window capture. Me discussion. There. Reveal that maybe?
I mean,
Oh, apparently not.
Jan just put a screenshot in the Discord. if you want
Oh,
that.
fuck. I could have done that. That would have been easier. Sorry, one sec.
Waiting for that cat to show up.
Also, since we're still here, while I have a captive audience, it's fun fact, Minky Momo also has mafia connection.
Nice.
Just like Anjay.
Here you go.
Fun fact.
Okay, fine. I'll go to your next Mickey
Fun
Momo
fact.
party.
Oh, I have several planned.
I would have gone to the last one, but I was busy.
Yeah,
I
same.
will make you cry.
I
Like to
don't
see what that's
wanna.
hard to do for me.
I don't wanna. All right, y'all.
will
Thank you
make
so
you
much for
cry.
hanging out. Thank you for hosting Yawn. Let me know if you want to postpone the next one, or we'll talk about that behind the scenes. But yeah,
I'll be good.
okay. But yeah, thank you everybody, and we're gonna go ahead and call it there. Thank you everybody who joined. Thank you everybody. I can't talk. Thank you everybody who chatted and joined us on the voice call, and thank you to all you who didn't. And yeah, we'll talk to you on the next one. Things are, yeah, I think we might be getting maybe some answers soon. I'm really excited for the ending of this episode. I think we're gonna get some interesting red truths. So
Oh, I'm so excited, Bob.
yeah,
Hmm.
I'm stoked. All right, that's it for us. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye bye.
See you.
Bye.